Welcome back to Missouri Field, Bowling Green, Ohio. Falcons lost 14-5 in the first leg of the doubleheader. We're in the second leg now. Ben Koyak here with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Henry, not the greatest first game of the doubleheader for Bowling Green. Not the best series opener for the Falcons, but 6-2 now at home. They have a little bit of an easier pitcher in the circle for Ball State, and a fresh scoreboard and a new chance.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the final score, 8 of those 14 runs for Ball State scored in that final inning where Olivia Roth was just kind of out there riding on her last inning there. So real final score, I mean, around 6-1 was where we were at, 6th inning. So on paper, it looked a lot worse than it was, but Falcons back for another game here, and we got 2 different pitchers. Morgan Beckham on the mound here for the Falcons.
Yeah, they're going to trot out Morgan Beckham, 6.7 ERA, 2-6 this season, 38 innings pitched, 37 earned runs. She has been very good as of the last couple of games. Won her first game against Kent State on March 22nd. Her last 5 appearances, 2-0-1, 18 innings pitched, 18 hits, but only 5 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, and 3 doubles allowed. Those are the only extra base hits she's allowed. She has been very strong coming in as a freshman for Bowling Green. We talked about in our pregame how good Krafchick and her and Scarlett Anderson have been this season, and her and Krafchick have kind of taken the reins the last week or so.
Yeah, I mean, Beckham, we talked about it a little bit last game. Went from a 10 ERA going into MAC play to now down under 7, looking to improve that in this one. Reached 38 2/3 innings, 21 strikeouts on 25 walks, 37 earned runs on the year. Tough 2-6 record, but she's really been showing out as of late.
The lineup for Bowling Green will not change. The defensive formation won't change at all. McKee's still going to be the catcher in the battery of her and Beckham today. And we're about to get underway with the leadoff hitter for Ball State being Maya Peterzak, who just broke her hitting streak as of the last game, 7-game hitting streak that she missed out on. She was over the game yesterday, had a run scored as well, but was pinch hit for in the top of the 7th inning. And who pinch hit, but Vandermark, she got a hit, scored a run, or got a walk and scored a run. She got on base.
All right, Peterzak's win streak or hit streak was erased there in that game, but I mean overall, I'm sure she's not too mad about that considering the result of the game. 360 hitter and near 1,000 OPS, one of the best in the MAC. Does it on both sides of the ball really as well. Plays great defense at shortstop.
1-1 now from Morgan Beckham, working in the circle for Bowling Green. Been great, along with Mackenzie Krafchick at getting ahead in counts. Krafchick didn't do the greatest job in the first game. Beckham looking to remedy that in the second game. Lifted out in the air to left field, and it's going to fall shallow, just behind Addie Martin, but just in front of Delaney Davis. And a leadoff single for Peterzak.
Yeah, that one just kind of blooped in there. Got a little bit lucky with the contact. Not the hardest hit ball, but found the spot. The leadoff hit for Ball State, and them started off well. Just talking about Beckham a little bit, a lot of a different look in terms of style of pitcher. Krafchick a lot more of a finesse pitcher, contact-oriented, really tries to hit those spots, while Beckham relies a bit more on her velocity, tries to get those fastballs up in the zone, get some swing and miss.
Yeah, she is more of a swing and miss threat, but does get some pretty weak contact, more in the air than Krafchick. Krafchick tends to get more ground balls. Beckham certainly gets more fly balls. Timmons, a massive cut, but she misses it for strike 1.
Timmons, home run, walk, hit by pitch last game, doing a lot of what she's done all year. 2 walks, only 1 out, and 1 for 2 day with 2 walks and hit by pitch. So
she rips one down the third base line and fair. This has got extra bases written all over it. Davis will grab the ball, get it in. Runners held at third base, and second and third now after the double by Michaela Timmons to set up McKenna Mulholland for a very prime at bat in the first inning.
Timmons right down the left field line there, found the pitch. Timmons just so good at getting contact on the ball wherever it is in the zone and getting hard contact on it. That was, not a badly placed ball, just great contact.
Yeah, she really turned on it, too. Delaney Davis playing a little bit more toward left center than the left field line. More than we've seen the last couple of games from the Falcons. Mulholland at the plate now, playing second base as she did in the last game. 1 for 3, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a walk as well. Pretty productive first game of the doubleheader.
Yeah, great day for her. two-time second-team All-MAC member, made the MAC All-Tournament team last year out of Oviedo, Florida.
Beckham on the 1-0, left it outside. So falling down behind in a 2-0 count with runners on second and third.
Ball State all over Beckham early. It's going to be I would predict kind of an offensive day considering two freshmen starting pitchers.
She's going to get hit by the pitch. She's going to take first base, which, surprisingly enough, not the worst thing in the world considering you have a force at every base now. The infield can play in, certainly. They were playing mildly in during Mulholland's plate appearance. Now that she's standing on first base, they're going to play in front of the baseline. It's going to be Kara Gunter at the plate.
Gunter, senior out of Tassel, Ohio, attended Granville High School, 2 for 5, last game with a run. Really, this whole lineup all around had a great game, which is pretty common if you score 14 runs.
Yeah.
I mean, this team is confident, right? 20 wins now on the year, and after a game like that, it's really hard to turn it around if you're Bowling Green, especially against a team that's just so potent on both sides of the ball.
Not to mention you were bolstered mainly in that first game by great pitching from Ella Whitney, who's coming up next in the lineup. This one's lined into center field and it's going to fall in front of Kendall Matthews. It scoots by her and all the way down to the fence. This is going to score 3 runs. Rounding second and going to third is Gunter. She'll be safe at third, and it's probably going to be a 2-base error for Kara Gunter.
Yeah, I mean, Matthews just was kind of expecting the bounce to be a little bit higher, but just let it go right under your glove. You got to put a little bit more physicality into it, put your legs in front of the ball there to make sure to stop it in front of you and not let it get behind you. That's the number one rule of
looked like she was pulling her head up off of the ball a little bit early and was looking for the runners and where to throw the ball before she was worried about catching the ball. Ella Whitney will step up now to a home run in the second inning of the last game to give Ball State a 2-0 lead. Kayla Timmons, a couple batters later, gave him a 3-0 lead.
5 RBIs in that game. When he out of Martinsville, Indiana, attended Martinsville High School, transferred from Florida International, spent 2 years there. Great freshman year, not so great sophomore year, but really doing it here in her junior year with Ball State.
First pitch left just a little bit low for Morgan Beckham. Not going to get credit for all 3 of those runs earned, I would imagine, considering the 2-base error by Kendall Matthews in center field. The 1-0 delivery from Beckham just catches the low and inside corner to the right-handed batter.
I mean, I think Beckham just got to use these 2 different looks here. Krafschick, obviously, a little bit of a finesse pitcher, and this is a different look for Ball State. Got to use that velocity and try to keep the ball on the edges of the zone.
Fastball now past Ava McKee, who can't stop it as it rolls up to the plate. It's going to score the runner from third base. So the bases are empty for Ella Whitney, who's got a 2-1 count.
4 runs here. The first inning for Ball State, starting off hot just like they did
on 4 batters.
Game 1, yeah.
3 hits and a walk already. Beckham gets her to foul it out of play on an up and away fastball, so changing the eye level there. Ella Whitney coming into the second game of their doubleheader, or their 3-game set versus Toledo last week, had a 6-appearance win streak and an 8-game hit streak, broke both of those, and then is back trying to get both of those running with a win in the first game and 2 hits in the first game. She takes this one off the left elbow. She's got a guard there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hit the guard, though.
Yeah, seemingly still a little bit worse for wear after it, but she'll walk slowly over to first base. 2 hit by pitches and 3 hits through 5 batters in the first inning from Morgan Beckham. Not the start that you'd want to see.
Just hasn't been able to get those outs. Didn't get much help there in the outfield either with the error, so just got to reset. Honestly, this far into the inning without an out can be tough. Just got to put it all behind you. New batter, new game.
No outs, runner at first base. Caitlin Gibson up at the plate now. Mandy Weaver waiting on deck. Ava McNally in the hole. Her first start since March 9th. 0 for the season as well. First pitch just away for ball 1 from Beckham.
Gibson 1 for 3. Last game had an RBI and a walk as well.
8 putouts in the field for Gibson playing first base. A lot of ground balls from the Falcons. Took them till the 6th inning to get their first out made in the outfield. Not a lot of work for those outfielders. Center fielder Urban, Gunter, the left fielder, and Weaver, the right fielder.
Yeah, no, only 5 hits.
Tough to tee up. Tough to tee up Ella Whitney in the way she was dealing. Strike at the lower part of the zone, 1-2. Back out ahead of the count.
Beckham working that off speed. Got a good off speed in there for strike 1. See if she goes back to it here on the 1-2 count.
Maybe trying to go to ground ball here and try and get 2 outs with 1 swing. Swing and a miss. Top of the zone. Sits down Gibson. Brings up Weaver. So a runner on first, but 1 out in the first of the first inning.
I mean, that speed disparity there can be a tough adjustment with the fastball and the off speed, especially when you're trying to protect on a 2-strike count. Good utilization there by Beckham.
Right fielder number 14, Maddie Weaver.
Maddie Weaver, the right fielder, takes a fastball high for ball 1. Weaver 1 for 3, 2 runs in the first game, a walk. A put out in the field, as we said, only 1 playing right field. The 1-0 pitch, low and inside as well, 2-0.
Maddie Weaver, senior Indianapolis native.
Transfer from Iowa after the 2022 season. 9 games played in 2023, 32 last year in 2024. Third pitch just in. Oh, that is a strike. Thought it was inside, but 2-1 the count. Give one back to Beckham.
Weaver in 227 on the year, 675 OPS. Solid player here for Ball State in the bottom of this lineup.
Drives this one out in the air to left field. A little bit shallow. Barrett ranging back in foul territory. What a catch by Taylor Barrett. The runner will tag and advance to second base. Second out.
That was a tough play, going straight back pretty much from third base. A little bit of a basket catch. Just kind of hoping. It's hard to see the ball, especially when you're going straight back on it. Did a little bit of, kind of ran back, did a little bit of back pedal towards the end. So credit to Barron. That's a tough defensive play.
Normally we'd, at this point in the game, be battling the sun a little bit. Maybe a little bit past the time where you'd be battling the sun. But the nice gray sky here in Bowling Green maybe helping Taylor Barron and tracking down that ball.
Yeah, the shade here would be a problem, especially with this late second game. But, I mean, I guess part of the benefit of clouds here in Bowling Green.
Ava McNally playing third base. Her first start since March 9th. She was 0 for 1 at Lehigh on February 22nd and 0 for 2 against Stonehill on March 9th. That was her last at-bats.
Hometown player for Ball State. Grew up in Muncie, Indiana. Attended Yorktown High School. All-county player in her last 3 seasons.
She's down 0-2 with 2 outs and a runner on second. Got him on the inside corner. Morgan Beckham retires 3 in a row after giving up 4 runs on 5 batters to start the top of the first inning. 4-0. Ball State leads early against the Falcons. We head into the bottom of the first. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM. Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
4 runs on 3 hits in the top of the first inning. Severino in the game now for Ball State, pitching in place of Ella Whitney, who pitched in the first game. Outstanding player. Henry, why don't you tell us about Severino a little bit?
Yeah, 5.03 ERA, 2.03 WHIP in 13 appearances, 8 starts. She'll be getting over 50 inning mark here for Ball State. It's been Whitney who's really held most of the innings for this team all year, 91 for her. Severino just hitting about half of that. She throws ball one down low there. Freshman 5'6" from Olathe, Kansas, attended Olathe Northwest High School. Won a state championship there in her senior year.
Yeah, she did. A Kansas State championship, 5-2, 1.4 ERA in her final season in high school. Second pitch strike, 1-1 to Katie Hutter. Severino in her last 3 appearances, 10 2/3 innings pitched, 14 hits, 14 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, 2 doubles, and 3 home runs. She throws hard, but she gives up a lot of power because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this team is second in team ERA, but outside of Whitney, they've had a bit of a struggle. No other pitchers under a 5 ERA.
Yeah, a lot of that is Whitney's 2 ERA.
Yeah.
1-1, grounded down the first baseline, foul. Weak tap from Katie Hutter.
Hutter 0 for in game 1. Struck out once. Got 2 at-bats, although she did get hit twice.
Did have a good series against Youngstown State earlier this week, though. 4 for 6, 3 RBIs, 5 runs, and 2 walks. An on-base machine, along with Taylor Barrett, grounds it to first base. We put out for Gibson, unassisted, for the first out of the game for Severino.
I mean, this is it's just straight up tough for the Falcons to come out before they even get a chance to bat. They're down 4 runs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, playing down again when you were already playing down for a whole 7 innings in game 1. It's going to be tough confidence-wise. And, energy-wise, you got to keep the energy high and keep your motivation high.
Addie Martin narrowly kept her hit streak going after last game. She was 1 for 4 with that final hit coming in the 7th inning. Up to 9 games for her from March 15th. First game against Buffalo on. 1-0 pitch from Severino. Catches the inside corner for strike 1.
The BG dugout really getting into it. And Gardner getting into it as well. They're at third base trying to root on Addie Martin here.
1-1 pitch. Inside. Caught a piece of Addie Martin, I think. Umpire didn't make a call. Addie Martin just took first. And the umpire said come back. So either Addie was trying to sell it or the umpire didn't see the call.
It didn't look like it really got a piece of her. Martin just tried to ignore it and maybe convince the umpire by just going automatically.
If that worked, that would have been hilarious.
Umpire's going to confer with other umps here.
Yeah, he's telling her to stay.
Good try there by Addie.
Trying to pull a fast one. 2-1 the count, back to even.
Got a shoe tie. That's Mulholland at second. First inning, that's pretty early for an untied shoe. Got to tie that pregame.
And they were running a lot in the first game. 14-5 win for Ball State. 2-1, driven out in the air. Deep right center field. Back at the track. Over the wall, it's gone. Addie Martin puts Bowling Green on the board.
There it is. There's that power we've been talking about on display. 11 homers on the year. That's third most in the MAC.
Big swing for Addie Martin. 4th home run that we've seen today, Henry, and the first by the Falcons.
Yeah, good to see the power there early. Over the right field fence, Martin just didn't get it. I mean, send it the opposite way. I believe that's the first opposite field home run she's had here at Messer Field.
So much power to so many different fields. Wasn't swinging for it either. Just took a pretty decent cut at it. Barreled the ball up.
It's not too tough to get one out here, especially with the wind kind of blowing that way a little bit.
Ball taken high by Taylor Barrett, batting third today, playing third base. The lineup for Bowling Green, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Last game was a little bit of an anomaly, I'd say, but it's been a pretty decent lineup all the way around for Bowling Green, one that Gardner seems to have settled into, especially with the injury to Cam Kaufman and her not being able to play shortstop or anchor the 4, 5, 6 hole in the lineup as she was to start the year.
Yeah, interesting if we're going to even see Coffin. Maybe Akron short turnaround there on Tuesday, and then maybe we'll probably look at this weekend. That should be coming their upcoming weekend series.
Hasn't dressed in over a week either. 2-0, 1 out, low and away. Taylor Barrett's got a 3-0 count.
It's been mostly uniform this whole year in terms of lineup construction from Gardner, with the exception of obviously Kaufman being out. Past couple of weeks, they haven't really switched too many things around.
Taylor Barrett, a .463 on-base percentage, takes the first strike, so 3-1. We even made a comment when we were watching that first game against USC Upstate, I believe, and that first series that the lineup really didn't change at all. Kind of surprising, and how many of those first-day players for Gardner have played almost every game since. Ball high. Barrett takes first base.
I mean, Gardner's trusted her players to stick in the position that she's put them at in the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
It was interesting, we talked about this before. Barrett, Hunt are these players that struggled so immensely last year, and then they were in the lineup day one and never really got taken out of the lineup in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, looking from last year to this year, the only player you can really compare seasons is Cam Kaufman, because she played 40 games last year. Every other player in the Falcon lineup today was either not on the team or did not play a sizable amount of time.
Yeah.
Taylor Barrett probably the next highest. She played 24 games, I believe, as the starting third baseman.
Yeah, and the offensive production is just that more impressive considering they lost most of this production last year and just found it out of nowhere this year.
Hannah Hunt takes a ball low. Severino struggling a little bit to find the zone the last couple of batters.
I'm sure this is, it's kind of tough pitching your best pitcher first game because then a pitcher is a little bit worse, looks a lot easier to hit after you already see a pitcher like Whitney for 7 straight innings.
The 1-0 pitch grounded down the third baseline foul. It's almost like if you go to concerts, you do the warm-up acts first, and then you bring out the main attraction last, because you don't want the main attraction to upstage. Obviously, that's not what's happening here, but you're automatically bringing Falcon eyes to a tougher pitcher and then to an easier pitcher. Fouled off down the first baseline now for Hannah Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, I compare it to like when you're warming up in the on deck circle. If you're doing a donut, if you're doing two weights, you're making it. The bat heavier so that it's easier to hit when you're up the plate. It's kind of the same situation where the faster, heavier in quotes pitcher makes a lighter pitcher seem a bit easier to hit.
Ball out and away. 2-2 the count now to Hannah Hunt after fouling off a couple. She's up to an 8-game hit streak. Her last 7 games played before that first game against Ball State today. 10 for 23, 6 RBIs, 4 runs, a double, and 3 walks. Doing a little bit of everything, like a lot in the top of the order. Lifted out in the air to the fence in left field. I should say down the left field line fence and foul. 2-2. 3 foul balls for Hunt with a 2-strike count.
I think the at-bat 1 on 1 out. Just don't want to send a ground ball in the infield here. Otherwise, you're pretty much all set.
They're decently fast, but...
Yeah. Watch her going here, potentially.
She did not go. Ground ball down the third baseline foul.
Probably 3-2. If we got there, she might end up
staying alive.
And only 1 out.
The benefit of, you put on some quote-unquote useless runs in the 7th inning of that first game, but you wore out Whitney a little bit to the point that we saw quite a large amount come off her fastball.
Right.
And you have essentially, with that 7th inning, taken her capability of pitching in this game.
Yeah, I believe it was
as good as a long-term look for the Falcons.
Full count now. But I believe it was, 123 pitches last game.
Yeah, 123.
For Whitney. So that's hefty, even if you're, it's not too much of a stamina break.
And even just watching, you could tell that her stamina had gone down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Full count, 1 out. Hunt fouls it off again. Really great at bat from Hannah Hunt to battle with Severino in the bottom of the first inning. Still 4-1 trail.
And her pitch count is going to be up there even after 1 inning. Ball State got all their runs pretty quickly against Beckham. It's kind of the contrary here. When you're really winding down Severino.
Severino The payoff pitch with one out. Flown out in the air to right field, taking a step back, now a step in, and making the catch is Weaver. So 2 outs with a runner on first base.
Yeah, a little bit late on it. I think she maybe got it in on the weak part of the handle there. Also, that one didn't have much power going out there towards the right, but play made.
Still successful at bat, I'd say. You worked the count, got a decent fly ball, put a good swing on the ball.
Yeah, good swing on the ball.
4-1, Ball State leads. First pitch to Peyton Steffes is left low.
Steffes, another player that was hitless in game 1. Had 2 walks, though.
Bowling Green actually outscoring opponents in the first inning across the entire season. But in the second, third, they have been outscored by their opponents. This one's fouled off by Steffes for a 1-1 count. Their best innings have been the 7th and the 1st. I mean, just bookending.
Look at that third inning, though.
Yeah.
56 to 15.
56 to 15.
Jeez.
Third inning, especially earlier in the season, was the inning that a lot of Falcon pitchers exited the game. You see a lot of 2 2/3, 2 1/3. This one's fouled off by Steffes again. 1-2 the count. With 2 outs, runner on first base. Taylor Barrett is over there at first. Home run by Addie Martin, and the second batter of this inning. A solo shot, but a very good one. Got the Falcons on the board.
It's big to just get a run back, at least one in the first inning, just to not lay down flat after Ball State puts up 4 in the first half.
Sure, you get on the board. And to get a hit, you had 1 hit through 6 innings. Going into that 7th inning, you mounted, I don't know if you can qualify it as a comeback, but you mounted 4 runs.
Yeah.
And coming into that, you only had 1 hit, 1 run scored. 2-2. Low from Severino.
Getting Martin the home run in the second AB of the game after BG in general didn't have a home run in the first game is also a big deal.
Yeah.
Just getting Martin going early after a tough first game.
22 pitches already for Severino. She snares a comebacker by Peyton Steffes. Gets out of the inning with only 1 run given up, but the Bowling Green did some damage in the form of her pitch count. We'll head to the top of the second inning with Ball State getting the bats back in their hand. It's Urban and then top for the Cardinals. You're listening to BGSU Softball, WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network football beat Reese Patricus. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. Through leading FMSN's football coverage, I have witnessed firsthand how these donations help us as an organization tremendously, including allowing us to purchase upgraded equipment, use the money for travel, and everything in between. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund.
Four runs, 3 hits, two walks, 1 error, and 1 left on base for Ball State in the top of the first inning. They have a 4-1 lead over Bowling Green, but 4 runs doesn't really tell the story of Morgan Beckham. I think she pitched better in that first inning, Henry, than that 4 runs shows.
Took her a little bit to settle in. Didn't get out until the 6th hole, but then got him out 1-2-3 on 2 strikeouts. Certainly one looking to McNally in the last AB. We bombed the lineup, Urban, and then Peter, Zach, and Timmons at the top here in the second.
Yeah, Urban, her first at-bat of the game as they batted through 8 in the top of the first. Addie Martin shifted pretty far over at shortstop on the first pitch, now moved over a little bit. So a scouting report there on Urban. Urban went yard in the first game. Mm-hmm. So she does have a solid amount of power to utilize, although no runners on. 4 home runs, 5 doubles this season for today's center fielder. Swing and a miss on a fastball outside, 1-2. There's Beckham jumping out ahead of the count again.
Great pitch by Beckham. Urban hit 167 in her sort of redshirt freshman year in 2023, 131 in 2024, and then really stepped it up 257 this year. Had a great year.
1-2 pitch, singled by Urban into left field. Delaney Davis will get it in right past the glove of Taylor Barrett. Would have been a fantastic play to snarl it.
Well, here we go again. Top of the lineup that really ramsacked Beckham.
Yeah.
Early on.
Second leadoff hit of the game for Ball State in only their second inning. Peter Zach broke her hit streak last game. Went 0 for 3 with a run scored. Already has a hit in this, but it's a game late. Shows bunt, gets it down. It'll be fielded by Beckham. Thrown over to first, but she's going to be safe. Peter Zach beat out her bunt. It's first and second now. Bringing up the most dangerous hitter in the lineup, Michaela Timmons.
Showed that underrated speed, 7 stolen bases on the air for Peter Zach. You can see why. Got down that baseline fast, forced Beckham to speed up her throwing motion there.
2 for 2 already today for Peter Zach. Michaela Timmons had a double that advanced the runner to third base in the first inning. Ended up scoring.
I'm going to be interested to see how short of a leash Gardner gives Beckham.
Ground ball to third base. Barrett tags the runner and gets her there. Could have maybe had a chance of turning the double play, but bobbled the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And that was probably a smarter move just to take the runner at third and hold on to the ball anyway.
Yeah, just got the lead runner. So 2 on 1 out now instead of 2 on nobody out. But I was thinking it's just going to be interesting to see because you have Anderson back there still in the pen. You could potentially throw here late in this game. How much you really just want to let Beckham out there and keep letting Ball State runners get on base. Beckham's in the circle.
And Scarlett, who was great up until the point, has not had an appearance since the Kent State game on Friday of last week. Trying to steal third over. What a great play by Ball State. The throw down to third was way late. Addie Martin had to get over and cover as Taylor Barrett was crashing. Second and third, what a great drawn-up play.
Yeah, double steal, both of them move up. That's those veteran presences there at the top of the lineup making that happen.
Mulholland at the plate with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. 0-1 for Beckham. She delivers the second pitch. Is fouled back to the screen. Holland was on that pitch. Fouled it directly back, just a step below it.
Down 0-2 quickly. This is an out that Beckham needs. Do not want to really load the bases up here in this situation. So that really came back to bite them in the first.
The 0-2 pitch from Beckham. Off speed. Got her looking.
Great pitch.
A fantastic pitch.
Right on the outside corner. That one's tough to hit in general even when you're not sitting on it.
I thought it was a strike out of the hand.
Oh, yeah.
But the umpire took a while to call it. It's taking a while to call a couple of these. Maybe we got to listen a little bit harder for his call.
Yeah, maybe.
Second and third, 2 outs. Bringing up Kara Gunter. Gunter fouls it back to the screen. So they're on Morgan Beckham the last couple of swings, but like we saw against Green Bay, like we saw against Kent State, like we saw against Youngstown State, they're just not getting the ball in play, just not able to barrel it up as cleanly as you would imagine.
Beckham, good damage control. She has some pitches that she does like to leave in the zone that get hit here, but she really does a good job with consistency.
This one ripped down the first base line, foul. That would have been a bases clearing, probably a triple into the right field corner.
Yeah, Gunter was on Beckham in her first at bat. That was the error on Matthews where that one got under her glove, scored a couple.
So there's a learning pitch there for Morgan Beckham. But again, she's got an 0-2 count. How many 0-2 counts have we had in the second inning?
A lot.
More than a few. 0-2 pitch from Beckham. Swing foul back into the screen. Went to the high cheese.
Beckham really loves to punch the zone. Kravchuk, I mentioned this before, loves to eat around the zone a little bit, get her spots. Beckham just attacks.
Byproduct of Beckham having a little bit more of a live arm than Kravchuk does. Second 0-2 pitch. Good slap head out into left field. That'll get down and get 2 runs in. The throw home will be cut off by Barrett to hold the runner at first base. 2-run single for Kara Gunter.
Productive player, now 4 RBIs on the day as Ball State goes up 6-1. That was exactly what Beckham didn't need, was for Gunter to get on another pitch. Kind of left that in the zone. Maybe don't want to give those opportunities on 0-2.
Yeah, very good piece of hitting. Did leave it in the zone, but didn't even complete a full swing. Just had to tap an outside pitch away.
Yeah.
And not the greatest pitch, but very good execution on the offensive side. Brings up Ella Whitney. Hit by pitch in the first inning, advanced to second, and was stranded there.
That's how it can happen. I mean, yeah, familiar to score 6-1.
Oh, yeah, Whitney got hit by the pitch, so she might be out of the game.
This is number 20, Ashley Lovett.
Ashley Lovett will hit, a junior, standing at 5'6", out of Erie, Colorado. First pitch from Beckham is left high.
Lovett only 4 at-bats on the year, hitting .500 with 2 hits in those 4 ABs.
Yeah, 2 for 2 and an RBI versus Indiana State in the last game on March 21st. 1-0 pitch, ground ball, cut off by Addie Martin. Throw over to first, can't be picked out by Hannah Massaro. She'll throw to third, but the runner will get there. Split runners for the Falcons on ball that was thrown a little bit too far in the dirt for Addie Martin on what was a very good play with the glove.
Yeah, just a little bit too much velocity on it as well. When you're throwing in the dirt, you want to make it as easy as possible on the first baseman, and Massaro had a handful with that one. Still a play that could be made, just wasn't able to there. It's going to be runners on the corners.
Now batting, this is first baseman number 12, Caitlin Gibson.
So there's going to be an error to Addie Martin, who, again, like we don't talk enough about this infield as this is fouled back, that they are all playing out of position. Or at least to start the season. Taylor Barrett played first, now is playing third. Addie Martin was the third baseman, now playing short. Hannah Hunt remains in her spot. And Massaro, who was in left field, then was sat for a game for Delaney Davis, now plays first with Katie Hutter not playing the best defensively.
Yeah, I mean, Martin was the one that I was interested to see how she performed at short, and maybe a bit of an adjustment in the first week against Buffalo. Other than that, she's looked pretty stellar out there.
Certainly able to save herself with the arm as well. Has a extremely strong arm for shortstop.
I think that arm can be a bit tough on the first baseman, especially
in the dirt.
Short.
Yeah,
it's a lot more helpful at third when you need to get that ball there quickly, and maybe have it for a third baseman to throw it harder to first.
And for the first baseman, just more time in the air to see it, even if it's thrown just as hard as the shortstop.
Yeah.
The 2-1 pitch is fouled out of play for 2-2. So a lot of different moving parts there that may be solved when Ken Kaufman is able to get back in the lineup.
I mean, Kaufman really, especially with how well-rounded this team has been statistically in the lineup, Kaufman just kind of adds that missing piece where you kind of have that one player that gels everything together.
Just fixes the infield somewhat defensively, fixes the hitting as well. Runner going to third base, now trying a double steal. Throw home from Addie Martin. They're going to get the runner at home, and Ball State just ran themselves out of an inning. Kara Gunter went from third on a throw to shortstop, or to second base, trying to get Caitlin Gibson. But they're talking it. The umpires are talking it over right now. Helen Pena is going to get clarification from the umpire. I didn't see anything besides. Well, I don't think she stepped on the rubber, so it wouldn't even be a balk necessarily.
That's got to be what they're talking about, because that was pretty certain.
Like Ashley Lovett is, sorry, it was not Whitney, it was Lovett that's standing on second base. Is Lovett pinch hit for her?
They're just going to end the inning, it looks like.
Yeah, they're going to give it to Bowling Green. So they are going to retire the inning. 2 runs scored for Ball State in the top of the second inning. We'll head to the Falcon Bats in the bottom after a little bit of controversy. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Continue the WBGU experience online by engaging with our social media profiles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our feeds to stay connected with the local community and receive information about special events and programming. Like us and share our content to help build the WBGU audience. 88.1 FM WBGU Bowling Green is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Complement your WBGU radio experience with additional content available online. Subscribe to our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to receive information about special events, promotional activities, and our program schedule. Stay connected with WBGU wherever you go and return to Radio Freedom. Thanks for listening to WBGU Bowling Green, Ohio.
Two-run, top of the second inning for Ball State. Turns over to Ava McKee, Delaney Davis, and Hannah Massaro in the bottom of the second inning for Bowling Green. They got one run in the top. It was off an Addie Martin home run. And Falcons are going to try and get some runners back. I've not had too many base runners, only one, considering Martin was never technically on base. And then the walk from Taylor Barrett, the only other base runner for Bowling Green.
Yeah, I think the team can feel confident. They got some movement going there in the first. Obviously the home run from Martin, but got a walk as well from Barrett. Severino proves that she is able to be hit here. 5 runs, not an impossible deficit.
Severino puts the first one inside, really looking to work inside. I mean, Whitney did that a good bit. Severino doing the same. Now goes outside, but too far away for ball 1. Or ball 2, 2-1, or 2-0. Man, counting is hard.
Impressive velocity on fastball for the freshman pitcher.
2-0 pitch from Severino right over the zone for strike 1.
I mean, it seems like she has pretty good control over her fastball as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed.
Doesn't look to be too prevalent of an off-speed, though.
Yeah, no.
And not as dominant of a fastball as we saw from Whitney. Pitch just catches the black on the inside for strike 2, 2-2.
I mean,
counting out of McKee.
That's really good placement on that
Yeah.
pitch on the inside corner. When you get that right on the edge, it's really hard to hit.
Put some extra mustard on it, too, it looked like. 2-2 pitch from Severino to McKee, and she fouls it off to stay alive. They just look more confident against Severino than they did against Whitney.
For sure.
Understandably, considering Whitney was dicing in the first couple of innings.
I mean, outside of Whitney, this pitching staff is really missing Bridie Murphy, who didn't pitch all of this year after making the all-freshman team. 138 innings under a 4 ERA in 2024. So Severino's, as a freshman, is ready to step up almost over 50 innings this year already.
The 2-2 fifth pitch is up high. So full count and a payoff pitch coming from Severino. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball to third base. McNally fumbles it at third, still throws over to first, and McKee's going to be way safe. McNally getting her first start since March 9th. Makes an error at third base.
Plays all around the field. That one took a bit of an odd bounce, didn't quite catch McNally on there. So runner on McKee. Another great game for her. Another great start. Had a hit in game 1, 2 RBIs also. I mean, offensive production from catcher is huge anywhere you can get it. Obviously, Kayla Timms is an exception with all that she does. But, I mean, McKee, when you can get even a hit a game, 2 here and there, that's all you really want from a player that's proved to be pretty good defensively.
And from a catcher position that was aching a little bit with Ashley Chevalier, who was not performing too great at the plate. She was batting around 140. McKee's now got a hit in last game, looking for her first today, but still puts the ball in play and generates some good things. 2-0 on 2 pitches away for Delaney Davis. With a runner at first, has not shown bunt yet. McNally's playing a couple steps in, but
it's a situation where you kind of expect it. But, yeah, I mean, Ball State is pretty ready for it right now.
And you are down 5.
You are down 5.
Severino deals a 2-0. Right over the plate, Delaney Davis lets it go for strike 1, 2-1 count.
I always like watching these at-bats because these players just kind of they do a lot of mind games. Davis, Massaro up there, and they like to vary what they do pitch to pitch.
This back half of the lineup is very fun to watch. 2-1, sliced over to third base. McNally cannot hold on cleanly again. Back-to-back flubbed plays by Ava McNally over at third base.
Well, that's the freshman infielder there. Not a lot of experience at the college level. They're going to have a huddle here, talk it over.
So, back-to-back errors for Ava McNally. as Michaela Timmons is talking to her, probably trying to settle her down a little bit. Now 2 runners on, undeserved runners for Severino as well.
Mm-hmm.
At least expect one of them to be an out.
2 errors now for Ball State, both of them on the third baseman.
Now Massaro up hitless in the last game. 2 walks, though. Decent on-base percentage for her on the season, but with 2 runners on, you want to be able to drive in a run, especially when you're trailing by 5, although still early in the game. We'll see what the game plan is here. McNally seems to be playing back quite a ways. The first baseman playing in a decent bit as well. Gibson at first. 6-1, Ball State leads, no outs, and bottom of the second inning, runners on first and second for the Falcons. Massaro pulls back, shows bunt, pulls back again.
McNally and Gibson active on the corners, so I'm running in quickly there on delivery.
Maybe Massaro, showing bunt almost every at bat, you are keeping them honest constantly. Might have just been what that pitch was. 1-0, swing and a miss on a low fastball.
A bunt would make a lot of sense here with 2 runners on. If you can get both of the runners over, the problem is just you have to get the placement pretty much perfect.
Not to mention, McNally has made 2 errors on back-to-back plays.
Yeah.
Maybe test her again and see if she can make another one.
Test her on the bunt.
Tough to see if she could get the runner at third or the runner at second. Massaro tries the bunt again, but is not able to get it down. 1-2 count.
Yeah, probably not.
So it'd be a gutsy call if you bunt here. It's down to her swinging. Yeah, she's swinging. At least as far as I can tell. Still no outs. Big at bat for the Falcons to get back in the game. 1-2 pitch from Severino. Grounded down the third base line. Foul.
Staying alive. Falcons pretty much on a lot of stuff that's on the edge of the zone. That was a big thing with Whitney. She was really hitting those points, especially on the inside corner. Severino with a little bit less velocity. Falcons are able to get the bat on it more often.
Massaro, Matthews, then Hutter. Matthews and Hutter waiting after Massaro's 1-2 pitch. Your Severino dealing, fouled out of play by Massaro. Good defensive swing there on a pitch that she knew wasn't a strike, but too close to leave.
It just seems like she's going to be late on everything when she pulls back, but she gets the bat around fast. It's just an odd approach to me, leaving the bat hanging out there for pretty much the whole delivery.
Another 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Skips in toward Timmons. Swinging strikeout for Massaro, bringing up Matthews with 1 out. Runners on first and second.
Matthews the lone RBI in game 1. 1 for 2 with a walk as well.
Now batting for the
I mentioned 4 hits against Youngstown State. This is the player that you want up in this moment for the Falcons.
First pitch from Severino. Fouled out of play by Kendall Matthews, but a very good cut.
Matthews struggled earlier in the year. Big adjustment. Obviously coming from Lakeland College, a very smaller market over there. And coming over here, it's adjustment to go to the D1 level and play starting center fielder at that.
Pops it up down the first base line, but it's going to land on top of the Ball State dugout. Given an extra life, 0-2. The count, though.
Matthews hasn't fared well. Down 0-2. That's pretty strikeout prone.
One out. Delaney Davis at first. Ava McKee at second. Kendall Matthews receives an 0-2 count high. Trying a pickoff attempt. Timmons really likes to try that. And the only time she's really been close was the one that she got Katie Hutter in the first game.
It catches those runners on first base off guard, especially when there's a runner on second, because you're not really thinking about what you're doing on base as much.
Yeah. Also risky. If you overthrow, you're giving them third base, especially with a runner on second. Matthews leaves it low for ball 2, 2-2.
Matthews 20 strikeouts and 58 at-bats this year.
Against Youngstown State on Tuesday, 4 for 6, an RBI, 2 runs. Pops this up, foul. Just behind the netting behind home plate.
Another at bat where Falcons are getting late in the count against Severino.
Impressive to see from last year to this year. 2-2. 1 out. Here's the pitch from Severino up high. Full count.
You got to capitalize on these opportunities. You don't get 2 runners on super often. You can't just, do it every inning and not capitalize. You need to get chunks of runs if you want to eat into this 5-run deficit.
Full count up high. Ball 4 and bases loaded now. Bringing up the top of the order at Katie Hutter.
These long innings have got to be stressing Severino out a little bit.
Well, especially considering the first 2 outs were on plays that should have been made.
Yeah.
At least one of them should have been made by Ava McNally at third base.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Falcons.
She lucked out that Massaro ended up striking out in a favorable count. But
top of the lineup around now for the Falcons, too.
Hunter grounded out to first base in her first at-bat. Got ahead of Severino. His pitch inside. Couldn't get around on it. Fouled it out of play.
114 RBIs on the year. 27 hits and 87 at-bats. Slugging just over 460.
Sneaky 460 as well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't consider her too much of a extra base hitter. Swing and a miss. Change of speeds. Got her to swing over the pitch. 0-2. Standing in the left-handed side of the box. Has really no gap to shoot through on the right side of the infield, playing pretty straight up. Sprays the ball around. 0-2 pitch from Severino is fouled back off of the glove of Timmons.
Falcons are a sneaky good slugging team, 6th in the MAC in slugging percentage. 5th in on-base, 7th overall ranked offense. It's very solid considering where they were at this point last year. Nearly 20 points below 10th place and 11th at around 228 team average.
Bases loaded, 1 out. 0-2 pitch is sent way high. Katie Hutter will leave the zone to foul off pitches. Sometimes they swing away, but that one was too high for her to take or to chase. 1-2 with 1 out. 6-1. Ball State leads. Bottom of the second inning with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Chased a high fastball. Katie Hutter gets sat down for the second out.
Great pitch by Severino, really raising the field of vision. Hutter, that one's hard to catch up to, especially when you're defending 1-2.
Addie Martin has the only run in this game. Essentially unassisted as well, a solo shot in the first inning over the right center field fence. She's got bases loaded. Rips this one up into center field. That's going to get down and probably score 2. Delaney Davis rounding third, coming home. It's cut off. Kendall Matthews, and now Addie Martin is rung up between second. Kendall Matthews will dive back in, and she is safe at third. Addie Martin advances up to second. What a weird base running play. Addie Martin got hung up, got back. Kendall Matthews got hung up and run back. And then Addie Martin advances up to second base.
Error from Ball State, nobody covering first. That's supposed to be the right fielder's job there. That was Weaver who didn't over and cover, allowed Martin to get back to first base extremely easily when that could have been a pickle situation and out to get Ball State out of the inning. But 2 big runs there. Martin doing it all. Had the home run in the first and now 2-run single in the second.
Single advanced to second. Scored 2 runs. McKee and Davis were the 2 scores. Now a 6-3 game, and the Falcons are right back in it with Taylor Barrett up and runners on second and third.
This is what this team did against the better opponents. Teams like Indiana, Wisconsin, they struggled against the really good pitchers, but what they did is they forced these teams to put in their aces. We saw them, really hitting some weaker pitchers.
Ramble down the third base line. McNally stops it, throws over to first, and that puts out the inning, but not before Bowling Green gets a 2-run single for Addie Martin. She's got credit for all 3 runs in this game. 6-3 Ball State leads as we head to the top of the third. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey, it's Reese Patricus, and you're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network Content Director Lucas Kleinmeyer. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. As a sports content director, I've witnessed firsthand how the donations have helped our organization function on a daily basis. We strive to provide in-depth content on all 17 BGSU athletic programs and bring to life stories in the community that matter to you, and we cannot do that without your help. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network. With 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac.
Scarlett Anderson makes her first appearance since last Friday against Kent State. Last 6 appearances for her, 2-1, 19 and a third innings pitched, 19 hits, 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 6 walks, only 1 extra base hits, but she hasn't pitched in a minute, so she might have to knock off a little bit of rust and try and pick up Morgan Beckham, who gave up 6 runs to Ball State.
Yeah, this is pretty much her game after Beckham opened, got him through the first 2 innings. I think they're going to try to rely on Anderson here to pitch at least these last 4 or so.
Was solid in relief earlier in the season, didn't get too many games started. The game that she did start last Friday against Kent State was not a great one. Serves up an off-speed for a swing and a miss to Caitlin Gibson, the first baseman. Struck out swinging in the first inning. 1 of 2 strikeouts in the first inning. 3 total for Morgan Beckham.
The thing about Scarlett is she's pitched pretty well against teams with really solid lineups. We've seen numerous times. I mean, Oklahoma is the best example. 3 1/3 with 1 earned in that outing. 3 2/3 scoreless against UConn. 3 1/3 with 1 earned against powerful offensive USC Upstate. 5 scoreless against IU Indy. I could keep going. She's performed in these kind of relief outings. It's been most where she comes in second, third inning, just like she's doing today.
2-2. A good fastball on the inside, followed by an up and away fastball. Now it's pitch to give for Scarlett Anderson. Try and get the first out of the inning. This one's lined up the middle and into center field. Kendall Matthews will stop it. And it's a single for Caitlin Gibson, who for the 3rd inning in a row for Ball State. They're on get the first batter on.
Good adjustment by Gibson on the outside fastball. A little early on it, so it went split right up the middle.
Maddie Weaver up. Popped out to third baseman Taylor Barrett in the first inning.
Right fielder number 14, Maddie Weaver.
1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a walk in the first game. Scarlett Anderson puts a first pitch strike past Weaver.
Scarlett really likes to just pitch mostly in the zone.
Yeah.
Likes to rely on her defense a lot. Likes to send a lot of stuff, rely on this infield, a lot of ground balls, a lot of pitching low in the zone most of the time.
Yeah. 0-1 pitch. Left low. Very fast delivery.
Yeah.
Kind of a very jerky motion as well. It's a little bit distracting, I would imagine, for batters. Also has a pretty decent arm on her.
Mm-hmm. It also keeps those runners at first, kind of deters them from stealing when they don't have those extra seconds or so that they get from slow delivery.
Off speed just above the belt. 2-1 count. Runner on first base, Gibson. Not slow, not fast. Double play threat now if she can deal low in the zone and try and force a ground ball. 2-1 pitch from Scarlett Anderson. And she wore it. Maddie Weaver stood in the box and took it and will take first base as well.
Not even a motion to get out of the way, just let it hit her. Put your body on the line for the betterment of the team.
Single and a walk. Leadoff hitters on. Bringing up Ava McNally. 2 errors in the bottom of the second inning gave the Falcons a pretty good chance at scoring runs. They got 2 in. Tries to bunt it, but it's foul. Pretty decent bunt, actually, even though it rolled outside of the white chalk.
That would have done the job for sure if that would have stayed fair. See if she goes back to it after the Falcons already got the look.
And that purpose was not to get her safe at first, although you can be hopeful of that, just to get the runners over. And would imagine she's going to go back to that. Massaro pinching in at first, Barrett doing the same at third. Gets the ball down. Massaro's going to go over to first, get the out, and McNally's going to get the job done for Ball State. Runner at second and third with one out, bringing up Haley Urban, who's already done a pretty good job with runners in scoring position today.
Line drive single in her first at bat in the second. Mentioned that she homered in the first game. This is an at bat batter that Ball State wants up at this moment. Second third, one out.
Number 9, Haley Urban.
Center fielder with one out. First base is open. Line drive into left field. This might score two. It's over to Delaney Davis. She'll throw it to Barrett. Hard round around first base. Massaro was caught in the pitcher's circle. It's going to be a 2-run single for Ball State. They lead 8-3 over the Falcons.
Well, the day continues for Urban. Anderson left that one in the zone, and Urban just had to reach out a little bit and grab it and pull it towards Delaney Davis over there in left field. 8-3 now. Ball State kind of erasing that, take off the deficit that Bowling Green had in the bottom of the first, or bottom of the second.
4 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, now 2 runs in the third for Ball State. They're not necessarily done yet. Still only one out, as Anderson puts it above the letters of Maya Peterzak, I apologize. Peterzak, 2 hits after going hitless in the last game, breaking her hit streak. Trying to get that started. Scored runs in both of her other at-bats as well. Also has a stolen base.
It seems like Harrison has just had a bit of trouble lately. It seems like just getting outs generally, even in the Buffalo start where she had 2 2/3, 6 runs, but none of them ended up being earned. So she had some trouble in that outing as well, although it doesn't show on the ERA. And then the 5 2/3 with 3 earned runs, which was still a solid outing against Green Bay, but maybe expect a little bit more from her in that situation, considering the opponent.
2-1 count, 1 out runner on first base. Anderson puts it on the outside. Nobody at first base for the back pick for McKee. She looked over. I've had a pretty good chance. Well, the runner got off far enough. She knew Massaro was crashing a little bit. 3-1.
Dangerous spot, Peterzak. Back-to-back singles.
Pop fly up behind second base. Peyton Steffes, what a play, ranging in all the way from right field to make that play in shallow right center field. She ran probably a good 35 feet to get that ball, and it was not that high in the air either.
She was the farthest away from it out of Matthews, Hunt, and Steffes, the 3 who went for it and covered the most ground. She showed us that speed and gave Matthews a hug for maybe saving that out there in the outfield.
Looked like a Texas leaguer for sure.
Those plays are always the worst as an outfielder when you're kind of trying to communicate, but you're still kind of guessing a little bit on who's going to go for it.
Timmons throws it to third. Barrett snags it from the knees, hoses Timmons at first base. What a play. Taylor Barrett at third. Retires the inning. 2 runs scored for Ball State in the top of the third. 8-3. They lead Bowling Green. The Falcons will pull the bats back out, try to score for their 3rd straight inning. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Ruck, host of the Zig Zone on WBGU 88.1 FM. One day, BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media relies on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. For the Zig Zone show in particular, the hands-on experience that our analysts get allows them to bring their best content to the show, and the donations directly help that. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. IZIG.
That would not be
Severino back on the mound. She'll pitch to Hunt, Steffes, and McKee from Bowling Green, the 4, 5, and 6 batters. Ben Korek here with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Be on the lookout for our coverage and promotion of the Ziggies BGSU Athletics Awards. That's going to be on bgfalconmedia.com/the Ziggies. Go look it up and keep tabs on that for the countdown and all of our social media promotions of the event. Also support us for BGSU One Day. Go to bgsu.edu/One Day and support the Falcon Media Fund. All of that's going to go to the Falcon Media Sports Network, the BG News, the Swoop, BG24 as well, I believe. All of our Falcon Media components. Hunt gives us a ride to deep right center field. This is going to get down on the warning track. Hunt is rounding. She's going to be safe at second. Stand up double for Hannah Hunt to lead off the 3rd inning for Bowling Green.
That's what you need to start off an inning, Hannah Hunt. That one looked like it was going to be almost out of here, right off the banner there, right of the BG logo in center field. Great contact on it. It's exactly what you want. 364 hitter, close to her 3rd home run of the year.
Amazing stat here from the Falcon Media Sports Network. 7th double of the season for Hannah Hunt. That ties Cam Kaufman, who has not played in over a week and a half. Amazingly enough, that is tied for first on Bowling Green. Cam Kaufman was 3rd in doubles in the MAC when she was hurt. Just a double machine, RBI machine, batting 4th. Mm-hmm. I mean, the entire we mentioned that before. The entire lineup changes when she comes back from injury. Strike 1 to Peyton Steffes.
Yeah. I mean, Hunt's kind of picked up that role as the cleanup hitter. Still now leads the team with 24 RBIs on the year. But it is Kaufman when she's in the lineup who plays that role so well.
0-1 pitch up and in. Peyton Steffes lays the bunt down. Couldn't pull back far enough, but it's foul. Ironic that coming into this year, she was the only one we could really make a good guess about how she was going to play, considering her 40 games played. And now, out of the starting lineup, she's the one that's played the least outside of Ava McKee and maybe Delaney Davis, who have been mid-season additions to the starting lineup, I should say. Injuries
did kind of plague this team last year with Martin being out for pretty much the whole year, only played the first 8 games. They had that injury in the infield. Now they have another injury in the infield this year. I know Gardner's been not super happy about that. She really wants Cam back in the lineup for all the things that she provides.
1-2 pitch from Severino, fouled back to the screen, and a good cut by Peyton Steffes.
I mean, this lineup and the consistency I kind of hit on earlier, this team just does a good job of forcing good teams to put their best hand forward, which isn't a thing that they did a lot last year. A lot of, the talk was that it was just going to be a lot of easy wins, a lot of teams that wouldn't have to put their best hand forward, pitch their best pitchers against Bowling Green, and they've proved against pretty good competition that teams need to put their best hand forward if they want to, beat this team consistently.
Team not to take lightly, and also to reiterate, Ball State is probably one of the more underrated teams in the MAC, although they sit atop of it coming into this weekend. The 20-8 record, a 20-win season already, and we're just 2 weeks into MAC play, trying to make it 6-2 in MAC play as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the 3 main contenders. It's always been OU and Miami up there the past couple of years, and Ball State made the MAC softball championship as a 6 seed last year. Looking to do it again this year.
Full count lifted in the air to right center field. Coming in is Urban. She'll make the play. Hold the runner at second base. Hannah Hunt with her double will get stranded there with 1 out. It's Ava McKee that'll step up to the plate.
It feels like this score isn't what it is because BG, their at-bats have been really kind of wearing down Severino. A lot of deep counts, whereas Ball State's really been getting on Beckham and Anderson early in the count, and it seems like their innings have taken up a lot less time, even though they've put up 8 to BG's 3.
And you look at the other pitchers available for Ball State, assuming Ella Whitney's not going to go back into the game, although Bowling Green was tagging her a little bit in the 7th inning of last game. Brink Lakita is only 26 innings pitched, probably the next best pickoff attempt from Timmons back to second base. The rest of the pitchers for Ball State are not overly impressive. And if you can try and find Severino's number, you're putting head coach Helen Pena in a tough spot with which arm to put out or leave out. Strike called, 1-1 the count to Ava McKee, the catcher. Reached on an error in the 2nd inning, also scored a run. Delaney Davis did the same.
McKee and Hunt, who's on second base, both from Metaskal, Ohio.
Pop fly up to, oh, it's dropped and fair. Throw down to third base, safe at third on the tag from McNally. Hunt advances on a very dangerous play and an error by the pitcher,
That was
Severino.
Error on the fly ball, wasn't able to handle it, but really close play out there between Hunt, who had to hesitate. That's not a play that you're really looking to go on when kind of a routine fly ball there in front of
it. She was inches away from being canned as well, which would have been a rough turn. Now runners at the corner.
They're going to talk this one over.
It's only the third inning. Think about using your pinch runner, Ava McKee at first base.
I mean, potentially. I think they could probably get away with the steal. Hunt has speed there at third. They could get away with maybe sending McKee and trying to execute the double steal, or just send McKee and force him not to make the throw.
Delaney Davis will be the batter. A bunt with runner on first and third is probably what Helen Pena is talking about with her infield right now, and how Severina is going to attack Delaney Davis, considering they've been leaving the ball away to her all day. But, of course, on a bunt, up and in is the preferable place to throw it. It's the toughest place to get a ball down.
Sacrifice. This is where those bunts really cause a lot of chaos, because players got to decide, split second. Do I go to second? Do I go to first? Do I try to get the runner at home? What do I do with the ball here?
We saw a suicide squeeze against Kent State, and it did not turn out. Delaney Davis was called out at the plate on her slide. Very tough play. Fresh count for Davis. Davis slaps it out into the outfield. This will probably get a run in. Catch is made by Urban, and she's not going to tag.
Good decision.
Good throw to the plate. That was a good decision. Not deep enough in the outfield.
I thought I was going to get the job done at first. Just not quite deep enough. Urban got that one on quickly, and you mentioned good throw. So I guess the notion is to get the ball in the air when there's a run on third with one out, but it didn't quite work out for the Falcons.
Yeah, she did her job properly. It's just not deep enough. Maybe that wind, she hit it right into kind of where the wind is blowing, maybe knocked it down a little bit.
Could be.
Massaro at the plate with 2 outs, runner on first and third. 2 runs scored for Ball State in the top of the third inning. First pitch, strike inside.
Massaro, not a great look. First at bat, struck out, and 5 pitches to Severino.
Severino, the 0-1, puts it inside again, but misses up and in.
I think Ball State's going to be pretty comfortable leaving Severino in. I think we've seen good things overall from her.
Especially this inning, considering Bowling Green scored in each of the last 2. She can work her way out of a first and third with 1-out jam.
Yeah, just considering the Ball State offense doesn't really seem like they're going to be letting up anytime soon.
And not to mention the second inning runs scored were both on errors by Ava McNally.
Yeah.
Swinging a foul tip by Hannah Massaro. She was back on the off speed. She was coming or adjusted. Got the foot down late and waited on her back foot very well. 1-2 count, 2 outs. See where Severino goes here. Just went off speed outside. Massaro shows her little bunt before pulling back again and swinging a miss. Second strikeout of the game. Hunt is now in a rundown. Throw back. Timmons will chase her down and tag her out. And that's an out made in the field. As Timmons' tag was high. I don't know what Hannah Hunt was doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about.
I mean,
Timmons was all over it.
Because she got tagged. I mean, I'm just confused as what the idea was there. It looked deliberate, but why was she tempting Timmons, who is a very strong defensive catcher?
Yeah, I don't really
down
know
the line
on that one. Just what did she just kind of went and didn't really think about it?
She took a couple steps down the line, but like looked at Timmons like, I dare you to throw it.
Yeah, she threw it.
And then Timmons threw it, and she got caught in a rundown and got hosed. So I don't know whether it was a strategic go from Gardner to try and bring Matthews to start and to lead off in the bottom of the fourth inning. I'm just confused on whether that was deliberate.
Well, Massaro's going to lead off in the next inning anyway.
No, she struck out.
Right.
Did she
right,
not?
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, she struck out on that play.
Matthews was up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just confused as to what.
Anderson really looking to come out here. Has to kind of settle in after coming
when
in
instead
there
they
in the
got
third
the-
inning. This team,
Okay.
really needs these third pitchers to really come in and make a difference, especially Ball State's offense putting up 14 in the first game,
Okay.
8 already in 2 innings in game 2.
Yeah, good
this
point.
team has to change
Okay.
their narrative as far as pitching.
Yeah, thanks for filling that time for a second there, Henry. Just got talk from Mike. He said that it was a dropped third strike on the swing. But instead of going to first and getting the put out there, they just took the put out with Hannah Hunt trying for home.
That makes sense.
Still a very weird play because why would Timmons just not go to first base?
Yeah.
And why would she try for the runner at third? But just
I
all
don't- I
around.
just don't think Hannah should have gone in the first place.
I
is
agree.
what I'm thinking here.
But I
It
guess
looked like
it's-
Garner kind of told her to. But, I wasn't on the field. It's kind of thing.
Yeah.
You want to be down there. You want to be able to hear Gardner and what she's kind of telling
know.
in the moment there.
She didn't look too upset with Hannah Hunt either,
that's
which
what I
was the
thinking.
weirdest part. Although maybe she got a talking to in the dugout. Who's to say? Scarlett Anderson early 2-0, one inside, one low. She'll work against McKenna Mulholland, Kara Gunter, and Ashley Lovett, who I believe is still going to hit for Ella Whitney. Anderson with the 2-0 up and away. She's really struggling to find the zone in this game and in her last couple of starts.
Yeah.
Her last couple of appearances.
They need to get just some quality innings down. They've just had the trouble with it. Game 1 was shaky for Krafschick with Ball State really getting on her in pretty much every inning, and then Roth obviously kind of got hammered there in her couple innings, and then Beckham getting hit first couple innings. I know Anderson just needs to settle in. They need to just get some scoreless innings so that they can even have a chance to come back here late in this one.
3-0 off-speed first strike. Here's Scarlett Anderson, the wind-up and delivery, and she hit the batter. Mulholland wore it off the wrist. That's the second hit pitch of the game for Mulholland. She'll take first base. Also had a strikeout in between there. That'll set up Kara Gunter with a runner on first base and no outs.
Just can't get the leadoff hitters out.
Yeah.
First 2 hitters have gotten on base each of these first 2 innings.
I mean, it's, talk all the time about a walk being the worst way to lead off an inning if you're a pitcher. And they've done that a couple of times. Runner going, swing and a miss, but the throw is going to be late down to second base and a stolen base for McKenna Mulholland.
Got a really good jump on that one. McKee didn't really have a shot, I don't think.
No.
Serious speed from Mulholland. That's 11 stolen bases on the year for her.
Kara Gunter with the swing and a miss. She's down 0-1. And it is Ashley Lovett. It's going to bat next. Caitlin Gibson to follow, the first baseman. No outs, runner on second. Fly ball into shallow left field. It's going to fall in front of Delaney Davis. She'll get a throw home to the plate. Ava McKee to put the tag on. Oh, she's safe.
I mean,
I don't know.
Really close play at the plate. I think Mulholland might have gotten her hand in there. She really kind of reached around McKee there at the plate. I think she did get her hand in. Great throw by Davis whatsoever to get that one to the plate. But
Nevertheless, an RBI single and advancing to second is Gunter.
they were gearing up. Davis did the full wind to get that one to the plate. That was a big play.
One of those same plays benefited Bowling Green. One of them went against Bowling Green, so I guess that just evens it out.
Yeah, 9-3 now for Ball State.
Who's pinch running? Looks like number 6, Veronica Peterson.
Yep. Peterson, the sophomore, out of New Braunfels, Texas. The New Braunfels High School saw her pinch running in game 1 as well. Keep in mind, run rule here. It is 8 after 5.
Yeah.
Ball State lead is 6, and we're in the 4th right now.
Yeah, 9-3, top of the 4th inning. Not done. Anderson dealing to Lovett. Lovett. Oh, just out of the reach of Hannah Hunt. Rounding third, but not coming home. The bat was on the baseline. The runner advanced as the ball trickled to the catcher, Ava McKee. It's going to be a single for Ashley Lovett, just out of the reach of Hannah Hunt.
This one's getting away from the Falcons here, just not able to even get the ball in on the play in the outfield. Hunt, that one just over Hunt's glove on the line drive. Wasn't quite able to make the play. And great contact from Lovett.
Just not their day, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough situation. I mean, just when a team's really got your number and they're hitting all of your pitchers, it's pretty debilitating.
Yeah, it looks like Scarlett Anderson's going to be taken out for Sydney Marshall. Marshall will get a couple of pitches thrown in her first in a very long time. Sydney Marshall, 2021 Max Preps National Freshman of the Year, Freshman All-American. No less than 3 earned runs since February 28th in her appearance against UConn. 6 1/3, 14 earned runs, 19 hits, 5 strikeouts, 7 walks, 4 doubles, and 3 home runs in her last 4 appearances.
Yep. Yeah, 8.19 ERA on the year, only 19 2/3 innings pitched on the year, 33 hits, 23 earned runs in those 19 innings. So it tells you a lot about the success that she's kind of been missing out on. Had a really promising start, first opening game against Monmouth. That was first win of the season for the team, 6 innings.
Yeah.
Only 1 earned run on 3 hits in that outing, and it's just kind of been downhill since then.
Might tell you a lot about how Bowling Green's played and how Gardner has viewed this game, considering she is arguably your 3rd or 4th best pitcher, or 4th or 5th best pitcher right now, and putting her in a game that you're down 9-3 in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah.
Just hope you can get something moving, considering your other 3 pitchers have really not struggled, but have not had fantastic outings. And Scarlett Anderson has quite literally struggled.
Yeah, I mean, Anderson's struggling. That's worrying for this team, right? When you kind of getting these 3 pitchers all going at the same time. Anderson, Kravchuk, and Beckham all struggle in the same series. Again, that's credit to the outstanding Ball State offense. That's one of, if not the best in the MAC, straight up.
And all 9 earned runs, very rare occurrence for this Bowling Green team. Again, all 9 earned runs are earned. There's no unearned runs today, and no walks for Falcon pitchers. They have not walked anybody outside of hit by pitches, which have been prevalent. But Sydney Marshall will work with Caitlin Gibson. Gibson with a single and a run scored in her last at-bat in the 3rd inning, struck out in the 1st.
I mean, 14 earned runs, and that about 6 combined innings, past 4 outings for Marshall.
Yeah.
It's a new look, though, and it's been a while since she's pitched. A good reset time for her, and a good opportunity for her to show what she's got.
Yeah, at the very least, these, Sydney Marshall is probably not on the radar. Olivia Roth probably not on the radar of Ball State. Now, Roth didn't pitch too poorly, had a couple of good innings before getting, quite frankly, shelled in the 7th inning of the last game. 2-1.
Garbage
Sydney
time.
Marshall. She delivers a 2-1, lifted in the air to deep left field. Delaney Davis tracking at the warning track, and it's Kendall Matthews that makes the play in left center field. The run's going to score. The ball's going to trickle in to about the pitcher circle. It's going to be a sacrifice fly for Caitlin Gibson. Enough to give Ball State a 7-run lead.
That makes it a 7-run game. Could have been worse. Good play by Matthews out there in left center. Covering for Davis, making the running play. It's 1 down now. It's going to be a runner on second.
I mean, nothing the Falcons could have done there. If it was foul, you might have let it drop. Just take the foul ball, but you have to trade the out for the run there.
Yep.
Ball bounced in by Sydney Marshall for ball 1.
I think 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, I think it's the highest probability, obviously, besides bases, or even higher than bases loaded.
Yeah, because there's not
nobody
a force.
out because there's not a force. It's really, really hard to get that out.
Yeah, runner at second now after she tagged from first base. That's Ashley Lovett. I wonder, Lovett wearing a brace on her left knee. I wonder if she has to slide on her right. I would imagine so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's very rare to see players slide on their right knee. Just a couple of steps off after Sydney Marshall delivers low, 3-0.
It's almost a full leg brace. It looks like almost a brace.
It's like the one they give football players when they tear their ACL.
Yeah, a little bit.
.30 count showing bunt, pulling back. First strike of the at-bat for Sydney Marshall.
She just needs to throw strikes here.
Yeah.
Just make the defense, make the plays. Don't really worry about heavy contact too much.
Lifted in the air to center field. Kendall Matthews tracking in. They're going to double Ashley Lovett off of second base. It's going to be a double play for the Falcons as they conclude the top half of the fourth inning. Led into the bottom of the fourth inning with a 10-3 Ball State lead over Bowling Green. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On January 31st, 2025, BGSU senior forward Jackson Niedermeyer scored a game-winning goal in overtime on the road against Northern Michigan, notching BG 2 points and securing Niedermeyer's first multi-point game as a Falcon. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Larson with the shot, taken away by Bowling Green. This is Jackson Niedermeyer, takes it up the right wing. Looking for a pass, now looking for a shot, he scores! Jackson Niedermeyer, the overtime winner with a buck left in overtime. And Bowling Green takes the much-needed extra point. What a wrist shot.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Two runs in the top of the fourth inning for Ball State. That's their fourth straight inning, scoring a run in this game and their fifth straight total, I believe. And they lead 10-3 over Bowling Green, who's going to try and get some offense going. Kendall Matthews up at the plate now for Bowling Green after the strikeout swinging by Hannah Massaro in the bottom of the third inning. Pretty tall task for Bowling Green to come back, although they had a taller task last game, trailing by 13 in the seventh.
They do have a lot more time to do it this time around.
It is true. Severino pitching gem so far. The only inning she really struggled a little bit was the second, and that was mainly due to two leadoff errors by the third baseman, Ava McNally. Severino delivers a 2-1, swing and a miss. Matthews, she was way ahead of it, and a good changeup.
It's going to be threatening in these next couple innings. The Falcons need to really score right now, sooner rather than later, or else Ball State's going to score that extra run there in the fifth, and the game's going to be wraps before you know it.
2-2. Severino winds and deals, swing and a miss. And Matthews will be set down by Severino, bringing up the top of the order. Two straight strikeouts for the freshman from Ball State.
Yeah, 4 on the day for now. She's pitched outstanding, all things considered. It's nice when you have that sort of offense that you can really rely on as a pitcher. I know she's feeling comfortable out there pitching with a 7-run lead. There's no better feeling as a starting pitcher.
Yeah. Certainly a confidence builder, considering you have a large buffer. Katie Hutter is hitless, takes a strike on the outside corner for strike one, ball one. 1-1. So some stuff going on in the Falcon bullpen. Can't tell who it is. Hutter lines it into right field, and it's played by Weaver, caught and put away.
Only pitcher that the Falcons have that has thrown innings this year that hasn't appeared in either of these two games is Maddie Young. Only 2 appearances, or 2 starts on the year, 9 total appearances for her, 12 innings, 16 earned runs. So we could potentially see her a little bit later on.
Ellie Price as well. Don't know if she is available to pitch.
Yeah.
We have not seen her this season. 0-1 to Addie Martin. Martin with a solo home run in the first inning. 2 RBI single in the second inning. All 3 runs were knocked in by Addie Martin. For Bowling Green, she's 2 for 2 with a run and now falls down 0-2 to Severino. Two outs, no runners on, bottom of the 4th inning. 10-3, Ball State leads. Severino winds, gives it to Addie Martin, who lifts it high in the air, foul. And a good catch by the fan out there in the outside of the fence in left field. Unfazed. Good barehanded catch. You didn't get to see it, Henry, because of the angle. But
yeah, I don't have a good angle of it. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, decent pop fly, too, barehanded. His hands are stinging right now. He just can't show it. 0-2 count from Severino, way up high. Good thing Timmons is 6 feet taller. That would have gone to the backstop.
Martin done all the offensive work for the Falcons today. 2 RBIs with her single in the second and then homer in the first.
1-2 from Severino. Rolled up to the plate. Skipping stones across the dish. Addie Martin with the 2-2 count. Trying to get something going with 2 outs.
Cricket pitch.
Yeah. How many bounces do they do in cricket? Is it just one?
Just one.
I think it's just one. 2-2, 2 outs. Now full count with 2 outs. Up high, just missing her spot. She's the most comparable batter Bowling Green has to Timmons in the way that you have to approach her. It's just there's such an even chance that it gets tanked every time you throw a pitch. This one hit high in the air. That's an elevator shaft hit, and it'll be taken care of by Peter Zek. The shortstop, no runs in the bottom of the 4th inning for Bowling Green. 10-3 Ball State as we head to the top of the 5th. Bowling Green 1 run away from getting run ruled, and they got to hope City Marshall can hold them off the board. BGSU softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
There's so much more WBGU content available online through our social media profiles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our feeds to get the most up-to-date information about the program schedule, show hosts, and upcoming promotional events. Return to Radio Freedom with WBGU on 88.1 FM and online social media profiles.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Bottom of the lineup for Ball State. They're going to pinch hit Allie Noble, 5'4" sophomore catcher. Takes first pitch strike from City Marshall on the outside. Ava McNally at third base, assuming some of the infield is going to be changed around. Next pitch low, just below the zone. That was close, but a 1-1 count to Allie Noble. Noble, 4 runs in the last 5 games played. Only 1 at bat though, and 1 stolen base. Her only RBI was on February 8th against California Polytechnic, the alma mater of Helen Pena, their head coach.
Yeah.
1-2. The count now at a swing and a miss.
Noble, Arizona native. Attended Canyon del Oro High School. That's got to be a tough adjustment, especially playing softball your whole career in Arizona and then having to come in and play 40-degree games in the Midwest. That's kind of a unique experience.
2-2 for City Marshall, looking to get the first batter of the inning for the first time today for any Falcon pitcher. There's been 3 of them. Delivers low and away. Morgan Beckham, 2 innings pitched, 6 earned runs. Scarlett Anderson, 1 inning pitched, 4 earned runs. Sydney Marshall already an inning pitched and none so far. Full count, no outs. Catches the outside edge. Strike 3 looking.
Noble was already heading off to first, thinking she got the walk. Called back by the umpire.
I think the Ball State guy said that the umpire has to retire. That was probably a highlight of today. That was kind of funny.
It's a little harsh.
Yeah.
He's out there trying his best.
Haley Urban has done pretty well with runners on base these 2 games, but there's no runners on right now. 1 out. It's the first time a Cardinal has been retired to lead off an inning today, and the 5th try for Bowling Green. 1-0 pitch from Marshall. Just low, I guess.
Cardinal offense, no stranger to these double-digit scoring games. Had 2 of them against Toledo, 13-8 victory, and then a 17-14 loss in 8 innings. Game 2 of that series.
Sydney Marshall pop up just behind second base. It's going to be called by Peyton Steffes, and she'll put it away with Kendall Matthews behind her.
Upcoming schedule for Ball State, they'll take a couple of days off before heading back home to take on NIU. It's a doubleheader on Tuesday, and then they'll head back out east to take on Kent for a 3-game series. 2 of them on Saturday, 1 of them on Sunday.
Yeah, Bowling Green plays only 2 games this weekend against Ball State with the rain out yesterday. Sydney Marshall, 0-0 count, delivers strike 1. The Falcons' next games, Akron in a doubleheader, Tuesday at 1 p.m. in Akron, so no broadcast from us for that. NIU next weekend, 3 games in DeKalb, Illinois. A little bit of a road trip. They play in Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, before they come back home for Western Michigan for a Friday game and a Saturday doubleheader at Meserve Field. We'll have the broadcast of the doubleheader lifted in the air to right field. Tracking is Peyton Steffes, 2 in a row for her. And Sydney Marshall goes 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th inning. Falcons will bat trailing 7 in the bottom of the 5th. And then they need 7 runs to be able to tie. And before they expire the next 3 innings, BGSU trailing 7. BGSU softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcast on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts.
BGSU Women's Tennis will pay the Buffalo Bulls a visit Sunday, March 30th at 1 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Stephen Schillen will have a recap of the match on bgfalconmedia.com.
Taylor Barrett, Hannah Hunt, and Peyton Steffes lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for Bowling Green, trailing by 7. It was the first shutout inning for the Falcons in the top of the 5th. Sydney Marshall took care of business, 1-2-3. Pretty good inning for her as well, Henry.
Yeah, good to see her getting into rhythm, 1-2-3. Even got the strikeout there in the first at-bat. So, going to be big here. Falcons just trying to avoid the mercy rule at this point. Need to get a couple of runs here. Rule, of course, is 8 after 5. We're 7 after 5 if the score stays the same at 10-3 right now.
Taylor Barrett at 12-game reach base safely streak with her walk in the first inning. Her last 5 games started, 7 for 15, 6 RBIs, 7 runs, a double, 4 walks, and 2 stolen bases. 0-1 from Severino to Taylor Barrett. Ground ball to the shortstop. Peterzak throws it over to first, and a good routine play for the Ball State shortstop to retire 1.
I'm impressed with the way Maya Pierzak plays shortstop. She's a really professional out there at that position. I don't really think I've seen any errors. Not maybe, I guess, knock on wood from her, but she's played a really outstanding. She just looks extremely comfortable. It just looks routine for a lot of these players that maybe some shortstop might have some trouble with.
Certainly showing why she's in that leadoff spot today, or at least in the second game. In the first game, not so much. 0 for 3 with a run, but this game she's batted pretty well. Brings up Hannah Hunt, who doubled in the third inning, a leadoff double, and then was caught trying for home on a strikeout by Hannah Massaro. 0-1 the count from Severino to Hunt. Here's the second pitch. It's off speed right over the middle. Just changed the timing of Hunt.
Severino has just been in a groove. It's really just been, seems like when they do get contact off of her, it goes right to a Ball State player. It's one of those days.
Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings last from the Ball State to Bowling Green. Now here's a put-out for Ava McNally at third base. As she gets the assist and put out the first baseman Gibson. That'll retire Hannah Hunt, bring out Peyton Steffes with 2 outs.
She's made a couple good plays at that position after her trouble early on with a couple of errors.
Right fielder number 7, Peyton Steffes.
Yeah, essentially gave Bowling Green the 2 runs that they've scored. Only scored 1 run on Addie Martin's home run in the first inning when it was 4-1. Steffes shows bunt and then pulls it back, lets it go 1-0.
Steffes, they try not to go hitless in the series. Didn't get one in game 1, 0 for 2 with a ground out to the pitcher, fly out to center field in this one.
Next pitch, strike 1-1 with 2 outs. Yeah, Steffes 0 for this game, 0 for the last game. 0 for 4 so far, looking for her first hit of this Saturday. 1-1 fouled off. Getting increasingly gloomier, Henry.
Seems like the wind is picking up. I was just about to say that. The flagpole out in center field is really moving.
Yeah, we made a Winnie the Pooh joke. Tut tut, it feels like rain, but feels like the weather is getting worse as this game progresses.
Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day.
Yeah. Steffes lines us into right center field. It's going to get into the gap. Steffes is rounding first, going to second. She's going to stop there. A 2-out double for Peyton Steffes. Maybe we should start quoting Winnie the Pooh more often.
Yeah, we should get some more wind in here. Maybe that's the key. It is Windy City Junior, as I like to call it here in Bowling Green. Maybe that plays into the home team's hands a little bit. But much needed hit. Steffes mentioned she hadn't got a hit the series. Gets her that mark at least late in this one.
McKee, the catcher, steps up. 2 outs, runner on second base, and a runner in scoring position. Pretty decent amount of RBIs this season for McKee, although limited at bats. 10 RBIs in her 37 at bats now. 8 hits and 10 RBIs is a pretty good ratio.
Yeah.
Inside for ball 1.
And consistent player. She's in the 6th hole, which is, I mean, maybe higher than you might expect a catcher, especially with this stat line, but you can see why in her performance, especially with runners on base. She's
certainly higher.
Pretty well.
Certainly higher in the lineup than Chevalier was batting. She was batting around 7, 8, and 8. Kendall Matthews been anchoring the 9 spot for a while. 2-0 to McKee.
Chevalier, of course, the junior. McKee, the freshman.
2-0 from Severino. Inside and a hitter. McKee's going to take first base.
Well, looks like it caught Timmons here on the hand. Again, we saw I think it was a couple of weeks ago, she got hit and was down in a game that she had against Toledo. Looks like she's going to be okay.
Yeah, that would be tough for Ball State. We actually saw that last week from the SID from Kent State that Timmons got hurt behind the plate on a play we didn't see exactly what happened. Obviously is completely fine.
That's just why it's kind of scary having a player like that at the catcher position every day, because it's such an injury-prone position.
She should be touching the ball on every pitch.
Yeah.
Understandably, but what's the trade-off of that?
For the Falcons, it's left fielder number 3.
Delaney Davis reached on error in the second inning, flew out to the center fielder. A sacrifice fly try, and she did her job. So a successful out, but didn't get the run in, unfortunately.
Tried to put down the bunt on the first pitch. Probably see it again. Although there is 2 outs with runners on first and second.
A 1-2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. BG trailing by 7. Severino deals. It's slapped, foul. See if the guy can make another play. No, he can't. Just a couple of steps back.
Was it the same guy as before?
Yeah, it was the same fan that caught the ball before.
Wow.
I think his wife was over there with him and kind of picked him a little bit away from the ball.
Gotta get the wife. Get the wife the softball souvenir.
Yeah.
Get it to the kid.
0-2. Severino working Delaney Davis. Runner on second base is slapped up toward the pitcher. Davis is fast. She can beat it out. Timmons isn't able to make the play.
Timmons didn't even pick up the ball. Davis was already past the first base bag. Got there quick.
Swing and bunt for Delaney Davis. Bases loaded for Hannah Massaro. Massaro struck out twice in second and the third inning. She's got bases loaded with 2 outs.
He's only 7. 4 runs potentially could be scored here.
Hasn't hit a home run since, that first series?
No better time than now.
Yeah, she's due. First pitch from Severino. She winds and throws. Off speed over the belt of Massaro.
You really want to just try to just get the ball over the infield if you can. Just maybe focus on contact. Just put enough on it.
The wind has really picked up. 1-0, fouled off.
I mean, we're expecting to get rain here pretty much 24/7 next couple of days. Looks like rain expected to start in 19 minutes. So we're playing on a clock right now, maybe.
1-1, 2 outs. Bases loaded for Hannah Massaro. 1-1 pitch is high.
Massaro struck out both her first 2 at-bats. Trying to change the outcome of those with this one.
Kendall Matthews on deck, but 2 outs. Ball low for Hannah Massaro. Brianna Severino has nowhere to put the runner. And in fairness, Hannah Massaro is 0 for 2 today. She's 0 for 2 in this game, 0 for 1 in the last game. Does have 2 walks. 3-1 deal. It's inside. Gonna walk in a run.
Ball State fans wanted that call.
Yeah, I don't know what they
edge.
wanted. But Hannah Massaro will take a base on a walk and bring up Kendall Matthews.
It's one thing to keep in mind. A lot of long innings for Severino, up near 110 pitches.
Next up for the Falcon.
And although absolutely no action in the Ball State bullpen.
Yeah,
so they don't seem
as
to be
we
too
discussed
worried.
before, you kind of have to ride with her because you need to
to
win the game. And nobody is any better.
Here's Matthews.
And here's Helen Pena walking out and gonna talk to Severino. So we are on a rain clock.
Yeah.
Looks like Ball State's kind of seemingly taking their time.
They have been. I talked about first game. They really kind of made the weather go away as soon as they started scoring.
Yeah, I know.
In that
Now
game.
they're hoping that it comes.
Yeah, now they're hoping that it's coming back. When you have turns like that.
10-4, Ball State leads. One swing of the bat makes it a 2-run game, technically. 1 run in the bottom of the 5th. This is the only run of the game that the Falcons have outscored, or the only inning of the game the Falcons have outscored the Cardinals, because the Cardinals were shut out in the top of the 5th by Sydney Marshall.
5 hits on the day, only 10. For Ball State, 10 runs on 10 hits.
Brianna Severino. Back towing up the rubber. Kendall Matthews with a 1-0 count. Severino, this one's lifted high in the air. It's going to be foul. But fair, it's gone. I mean, that ball was launched by Kendall Matthews, but pulled it way left.
That's that power that she has pulled that ball. Not a super super hard hit swing.
You saw Gardner right there directing her to the field of play. 1-1, way up and away. There's a lot of pitchers, understandably, would get gun-shy in this situation. I know as an ex-pitcher myself, I would get gun-shy in the situation because she just absolutely yanked a fastball. You don't want to make the same mistake twice.
Don't want to give him something else
Still
to
got
hit.
a 2-1 count, so at least 2 more pitches to throw. 2-1, swing and a miss, put it right back in the zone.
Not afraid on that pitch. Blew that one right by her.
Logan Matthews may be waiting on something a little slower.
I think Severino's probably going to go back to that, maybe raise it up a little bit or try to go low and inside.
2-2, bases loaded, 2 outs, pitch on the outside, strike 3, looking to Kendall Matthews. Strikes out for the second time in the game, leaves the bases loaded for Bowling Green, and still a 10-4 game. Ball State leading by 6. We'll head into the top of the 6th in a minute. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU Baseball will face off against Central Michigan Sunday, March 30th at 1 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavalitz will have a recap of the game on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU Softball opens their weekend series on Friday, March 28th against the Ball State Cardinals. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Henry Koska will be on the call with pregame beginning at 2:45 p.m. and first pitch at 3 p.m. only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The 4 Ball State leads. They hit again in the top of the 6th inning and brings up the pretty difficult part of the lineup for Sydney Marshall. Michaela Timmons, McKenna Mulholland, and Kara Guntner.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of playing against the clock here. Still 2 innings to play, around 15 minutes maybe, till the rain is expected to get here.
Towering fly ball in the air to right field. Peyton Steffes is under it, and surefire outfielder puts it away for out number 1. 3 flyouts to the right fielder in a row for Ball State. Actually, Haley Urban, then Maya Peterzak, and now Michaela Timmons. Trying to make it 4 in a row with Mulholland. Fresh count, delivers it waist high for strike 1. Been kind of impressed with Sydney Marshall. All things considered, being thrown into a losing game, but 2 1/3 innings and a strikeout.
Yeah, she's been solid.
Off speed. Got it for a waist high again.
Gotten the outs when it matters. She's really been forcing some nice pop flies. Mentioned the 3 straight to the right field. That means she's thrown it well down in the zone.
0-2, fouled back to the screen, all by right-handed batters as well, meaning that they're late and quite possibly guessing.
Maybe not a pitcher Ball State prepared for too much. Again, considering she hasn't pitched in quite a while, 3 weeks.
Yeah. 0-2, you've got the pitch to give. We'll see where she goes. She just went outside. She goes outside again, but a decent ways away. Not the greatest setup pitch, because it was about knee high, maybe a little bit above on the outside part of the plate. Not a drastic change for anything she can throw here. 1-2 count, same spot, fouled away by McKenna Mulholland.
Another 2 hit by pitch, same game. Or I feel like we've seen a lot, maybe a strange amount of hit by pitches in this one.
That pitch inside, and she really turned on it. She's almost looking like she's committed to swinging before the pitch arrives. These are the last couple. Did that on the 2 that she fouled off away. Now that one on the inside took a pretty big hack at it. Off speed maybe here from Sydney Marshall. She's thrown a couple of hard ones in a row. 1-2 pitch from Marshall is an off speed, but fouled back into the screen. Another
not
low
going
one.
away. They're getting the same look, that same fastball, and it just seems like Mulholland's not quite able to catch up to.
Yeah. But not hard enough to blow it by her either. Just been able to get a piece of it. 1-2 from Marshall. Just away. It's a good spot.
Can't believe Mulholland took that.
Yeah, I know. She fouled off a couple of that exact same pitch. And just a little bit more discipline as the at-bat prolongs. 2-2. Bowling Green defense playing pretty straight up. Fouled off in the screen on the exact same pitch. Ringing off of the net holder.
Stalemate.
Looks like Mackenzie Kravchik in the Bowling Green bullpen. Still a 6-run game. Again, crazier things have happened, not like the 13-run deficit you had in the bottom of the 7th inning of the last game. Off speed low. It's up to a full count now. And Sydney Marshall and a lot of the Falcon pitchers have got up to early leads and counts and then kind of got a little bit tacky around the corners, falling back behind.
Credit to Ball State. Ability to battle back in these counts. I mean,
and there it is again.
Mulholland just refusing to give up.
Another foul ball.
This is Max Alpha right here, up 10-4, battling this hard in in the top of the 6th. Every at-bat matters for these players.
Pop fly over to the first baseman, Hannah Massaro, in foul territory. She'll wrap it up and finally wrap up the at-bat for Mulholland. So it feels like we've had 5 batters in a row, and we've only had 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Seems anticlimactic, all that for a pop-out to the first baseman on weak contact.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Lefty coming in, it looks like it's Kara Gunter. I think it's the same batter. Yeah, it is.
I think it's time we go around the MAC real quick as this Saturday kind of wraps up for the most part. Akron ended up beating Toledo in Game 1 of their doubleheader. Toledo continues to struggle. They're 2-4 going into this weekend. Not doing much better now, and they'll play Game 2, which just started around 4:45. Game 2, Central Michigan against Buffalo got canceled. And then I mentioned the other games. Central Michigan 9-0 over Buffalo. Northern Illinois 9-1 over OU, and Miami wins as well, 3-1 over Western.
1-0 from Sydney Marshall to Kara Gunter, who was pinch ran for in the 4th inning and has re-entered the game and playing in the field as well, in left field. 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs and a run scored in the 10-4 ball game. Very good game for her. Ground ball to the second baseman, Hannah Hunt. Backhand, flip over to first to Hannah Massaro. It's the inning for Sydney Marshall, back-to-back. 1, 2, 3 innings on that ground ball to the second baseman. One into the bottom of the 6th with still 6-run lead for Ball State. WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey everyone, Falcon Media Sports Director Lucas Kleinmeyer here. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
BGSU men's basketball guard Javante Campbell made a game-winning layup against Toledo with 1.6 seconds remaining on February 21st, giving BG their first win at Savage Arena since 2021. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavelitz had the call of the shot on Falcon Radio.
It's Campbell with the ball, driving inside, layup's no good, rebounded by Exact, the putback's no good. Johnson fights for it, it's kicked back out to Exact, inside to Campbell. Campbell puts the layup, it goes with 1.6 seconds remaining. Javante Campbell with the huge shot, possible shot of the year for Bowling Green. They take the lead with 1.6 seconds remaining over Toledo, 69-68.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
6 runs of work to do for Katie Hutter, Addie Martin, and Taylor Barrett to start at the top of the order for Bowling Green in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ben Korak here with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network to support the Falcon Media Sports Network financially. Donate during our one day. Go to bgsu.edu/one day. Donate to the Falcon Media Fund and fund some of our, or a lot of our broadcasts, our travel, our day-to-day expenses.
Yeah.
To bringing all year-round coverage of BGSU athletics, including BGSU softball.
I mean, every little dollar helps that you can provide for us. Obviously, we're a student media organization, so we rely solely on those donations to just fund things like our Comrexes, our video cameras, all sorts of audio equipment, stuff like that. That the more of it that we have, the more opportunity we can give for students to broadcast more games and to get just more experience in general. So it's big for us. Anything that people can provide for us.
2-0 pitch waist high also would be great to be able to go on a couple of away trips with BGSU softball, maybe broadcast some away events. That would be very big, considering nobody else, unlike basketball, there's a swinging strike for 2-2 count. Unlike the basketballs, the footballs, who covers BGSU softball when they're away? I know you and I have a little bit of struggles finding ways to keep up with games on the road.
Yep.
2-2 count. Severino still in the game for Ball State. Delivers. Katie Hutter fouls it out of play.
I mean, just in general, donating to not just us, but any BGSU athletic departments. I know BGSU softball looking to raise some money for some new dugout improvements, among other things. So anything you can provide for these athletic programs also means the world to them.
2-2 still. Brianna Severino deals. Katie Hutter lifts it in the air to deep right center field. Tracking it down is Urban, and she puts it away. Katie Hutter gave it a ride, not far enough.
Long way to go for Urban, yeah.
Yeah.
Quality contact by Hutter. That one was right near the fence.
Shifted over toward left field a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now Addie Martin will step up. 2 for 3, a run, and 3 RBIs. Responsible for 3 of the 4 runs Bowling Green has scored.
Addie Martin.
The only other one being Hannah Massara's RBI walk. First pitch from Severino to Martin is rolled up. Ball 1.
As far as FMSN content coming up for us, broadcast isn't the only thing that we do to cover these softball events. You can expect our recap from Artie Abrego shortly after this game, as well as the weekly windup of this series. And then video highlights by our own Nick Winholtz as well on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel. A lot of cool stuff on there. Make sure to check that out.
Second straight one-hopper to the catcher, 2-0 count to Addie Martin from Brianna Severino. 1 out, no runners on, bottom of the 6th inning. Lined foul by Addie Martin down the third base line.
This is more like spring weather, and this is kind of what I think of when I think of March.
Yeah, the rain, the gloom.
Bowling Green, Ohio, clouds.
Battleship race, guys.
30 mile-an-hour winds, rain.
Yeah.
This is pure Midwest baseball, softball weather here.
You know it's Bowling Green when you can see all 50 stars on the American flag, Ground ball down the third base line, foul.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one
count.
before.
I mean, that flag has been completely flat almost the entire game, yeah.
Putting in the work.
Are getting a little bit of rain droplets.
Yeah, not too bad. As long as we don't get lightning, I think they'll probably just let them play through it. Maybe let them have a little fun playing in the rain at the end of this long doubleheader.
Want to see the tarp. Tarp is always fun. Lifted high in the air, right center field. Tracking in is Urban. The wind took it a little bit. Addie Martin's going to get a double out of a mile-high Texas leaguer to center field. That, as we were talking about the wind, probably absolutely killed that ball.
Yeah, that one was rocket sky high. That's a public enemy number 1 for outfielders when it's windy conditions.
Is that a double?
It's got to register as a double.
It's got to be a double.
Didn't even hesitate coming around first base. Kind of knew she was going to get in.
3 for 4 with a home run and a double. 1 away from the cycle.
Next up here is third baseman number 9.
Hey now.
Never say never.
How cool would that be? 10-4 Ball State in the bottom of the 6th inning. Taylor Barron up, fouls it up on a high fly ball out of play down the first base line. She's got a runner on second. Contact hitter again could get a run in with just a single. Addie Martin is fast. I mean, she made it to second base on a fly ball to center field that just barely dropped in. A 1 is high of Taylor Barrett.
I mean, Martin, maybe the biggest asset that the Falcons have on the base pass, 11 stolen bases this year.
Lifted in the air to center field. Urban will track it down. Addie Martin will advance to third base. 60 feet closer, but Hannah Hunt is retired. 2 outs. The runner on third base. Oh, I'm sorry. Taylor Barrett's retired for Hannah Hunt, who's coming up now.
Are they calling time here? Safe?
I think they were going to they were checking to see if she left early, I believe. So yes, Addie Martin is safe.
Now batting this is second.
Severino still getting some work
done.
done. I mean, she was in trouble in the 5th inning, but got out of it. Had bases loaded with already a run given up, and worked her way down. Back to the dugout. Oh, pitch is high. So Hunt will take ball 1.
Hunt popped out to right in the first, doubled in the third, and then grounded out to third base in the 5th.
Leadoff double in the 3rd, and the Falcons just not able to get her all the way around. Fly ball out to right field. Weaver underneath it, and we'll put it in her back pocket for the 3rd out. 10-4. Ball State leads heading into the top of the 7th inning. Sydney Marshall will take the circle back and try and continue to hold the Cardinals off of the scoreboard and then give Bowling Green a chance in the bottom of the 7th. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network senior Reese Patricus. One day, which is BGSU's biggest and annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. Falcon Media Sports Network has helped me realize my dreams of working in sports through giving me opportunities to cover Division I sporting events and to grow and evolve my skills. I've seen donations reshape this organization and help it flourish into what it is now, allowing us to receive apparel to help promote the brand across campus and truly become the gold standard of media coverage. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund.
Ashley Lovett up to bat for the Cardinals. 10-4 lead for Ball State, trying to add a couple more on and make the task more difficult for Bowling Green. It's Lovett, Gibson, and Weaver coming up as the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. First pitch from Marshall just missed outside. Wanted the call.
Marshall, 6 straight batters put down here in these past couple innings. Continue that streak. Just great confidence builder for her in general, just to get some innings here in a low pressure situation late in this one.
Next pitch is away, 2-0 count.
Senior Marshall, freshman from Zanesville, Ohio. Attended John Glenn High School. They're in the Midwest, Columbus area.
Bounced it up again. That's a actually it made contact with Lovett, so she'll take first base on another hit by pitch.
Well, there goes these 6
I
straight.
don't know what they're doing to each other. It's becoming a dodgeball out here.
A lot of hit batters.
Yeah.
Even in the first game.
Number 12, Caitlin Gibson.
BGSU dodgeball team.
You know, they're
top 15 in the nation.
Yeah, top 15 in the nation.
Yeah. A lot of MAC teams on there as well. I think Ohio and Miami are quite high on that list.
I would have never thought that the Midwest is just the place to be for college dodgeball.
Apparently that and rugby are the things that.
How many straight MAC championships is it for rugby?
Oh, I don't know. I forget what it was.
It's around 53, something like that.
Yeah. Could you imagine broadcasting for dodgeball?
That'd be impossible.
How sick would that be? How hype would that be?
There's nothing to say. We hit him with the ball.
That's true.
And he hit him with the ball.
Yeah.
And he hit him with the ball.
That's actually pretty true. It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah. Still a 1-0 count after a little timeout there. They got some new softballs. 10-4 still. I mean, this game has crawled to a halt in the last 4 innings, and these are the last 4 innings that we've realized that the weather is becoming an issue. Not necessarily an issue yet, but could be. Line drive into center field. Oh, what a catch by Hannah Hunt! Diving play in over second base to give 1 out to Sydney Marshall.
I've been right out in front, or behind that second base bag. Made that one look easy.
Yeah, put a star next to that play. She was pretty far shifted over into the gap.
Covered a lot of
between
ground.
First and second base, too. Covered a lot of ground to get over there. It did float a little bit, but what a fantastic play from Hannah Hunt. 1 out, runner on first.
The 5'6" frame.
This one lifted way foul into the batting cages of Bowling Green out on the left field line.
After this one, the Falcons maybe a little bit happy, although you're going to Akron. Weather's not going to be much better there on Tuesday, and then heading down to DeKalb for the weekend.
Throw down to second by McKee, getting the tag on, but just the fingertips reaching in there. I love it. Levitt steals second base. 1-1 count to the batter, Maddie Weaver. Weaver with a hit by pitch and a run scored in the 3rd inning, out in her other 2 plate appearances. 1-1, 1 out. Runner on second base now, so the force out at second is out of order. Got to check the runner back. McKee frames the pitch, but it's too far outside.
That's Peyton Fox out there, the pinch runner at second base, who just stole that base. Fisher freshman out of Fishers, Indiana, attended Hamilton Southeastern High School.
Low and inside, ball 3.
Ball State loves these pinch runners. That's
Yeah.
another one that we've seen. I mean, only 1 at-bat on the year for Fox, and then 10 runs scored on 22 appearances as a pinch runner.
3-1 count to Weaver. Swing and a miss. She was going in a beautiful off-speed away. I think she was sitting on a fastball because she was way ahead. What looked to be a changeup.
You would expect a fastball typically on a 3-1 count.
Yeah.
She'll choose to switch it up a little bit.
It was in the zone, too, even if she let it go. Probably going to be a strike. Then puts a fastball low and loses her anyway to first base. Not the worst thing in the world, though. 1 out, and you got to force it all 3 bags now.
Yep, double plays
With
in order.
Ava McNally, who's not a fast runner.
I think it's a grounder. Anywhere in the infield, you can get a couple. Now he struck out twice looking, and then sacrifice bunt in the 3rd.
Still 10-4 Ball State. Threatening here. Sydney Marshall looking to work her way out of it. Strike 1 on the outside black.
Rain has a lot of impact on these pitchers because softballs are, bigger than a baseball would be, so it's harder to grip.
More surface area to get your hand to slip off.
Yeah, and you're throwing underhand as well, so you have less control on it.
McNally shows bunt, gets it down, but foul. Yeah, not to mention just hand size as well.
Yeah.
And it being able to wrap around the ball. It still affects pitchers.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the prevalence of the rosin bag isn't as high in softball because there's no mound to hide it behind.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect the play. And I wonder how much that affects the grip of the pitchers, or if they just have to dab on some rosin before they take a step out to the circle.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, it's interesting just to see them be able, using the rosin there.
2-1 count fouled off, so 2-2.
So they don't have much. They don't have anything, and there's no rosin out there to have. That's what makes some of these pitchers so impressive. 78 over 78 mile an hour pitch set the record.
Yeah.
That was Kellen Pickens.
One of the Lady Vols.
Yeah, for Tennessee. I mean, they throw from 40 feet. So something that's 78 miles an hour, that looks a lot like maybe.
I think when I looked up the equivalent, it was something in the realm of like almost 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, so imagine, just as an average person, imagine trying to hit that, a softball coming at you that fast from 40 feet. Not easy to do.
Yeah. Full count. 1 out to McNally. She fends this one off down the third baseline. Gave that a ride. Actually, not too great of a swing, but stays alive. Payoff pitch coming from Sydney Marshall in a second.
Good at bat from McNally.
Yeah.
No mercy rule really in effect.
0 for 3 today. Sacrifice bunt, 2 strikeouts looking for her. Make up the full count. Swinging a drive into center field. Kendall Matthews picks it up on 1 hop. That would have been dangerous if she had let that go by. Ava McNally gets a hit. First hit of the season, I believe, and loads the bases.
Yeah.
And brings up the number 9 hitter and number 9, Haley Urban.
That would have me worried. She approached that similar to how she approached the hit that Gunter had out there in the first, where she kind of put her glove out there and not really putting her body in front of it, and it just kind of got under her glove. Yeah. That one could have ended in a lot of a similar way, but got her glove on it that time.
Now down against the center field.
1 for 9 now. Ava McNally this season, getting her 3rd start of the season. 1 against Lehigh, 1 against Stonehill. 0 for 3 in those games, and then 0 for 3 today before getting that base knock. Didn't get a run in, but loaded the bases with 1 out for Haley Urban, and then top. Still want to force a ground ball if you can. Infield playing in for Bowling Green. Corner's not crashing in, obviously, because there's only a force. You wouldn't really bunt in this situation. Left the way, ball 2, 2-1. She'll struggle a little bit. She got that leadoff runner on the hit by pitch, and then has struggled to find the zone a little bit.
Oh, this is the most innings she's thrown in quite a while.
Yeah.
Had those 2 scoreless that were pretty smooth.
Up above, waist high for ball 3. 3-1, nowhere to put the runner. You've got to come up with something dirty.
You saw her go to the off speed on 3-1 last time she got to this count.
Infield taking a couple steps in, puts a strike about knee high. Puts up the full count with 1 out.
Urban wasn't really interested in that one.
Yeah. Like to see an off-speed put in around that same spot. But a full count, 1 out, bases loaded. And swing and a miss. Put the pitch away. Even if she let it go, it was going to be strike 3.
Impressive. Good job getting out of that.
Yeah.
And puts 2 out now. Bases loaded, and Banks a lot better of a situation for her. And, I mean, Urban has been on the ball, 2 singles in this game, home run last game. It's not an easy at-bat.
Top of the 7th inning. Peter Zach up.
Even tougher challenge now, though, for Marshall.
2 for 4 with 2 runs. Went 2 for 2 in the first 2 innings. Also had a stolen base, 2 runs scored. And then 2 flyouts to the right fielder in her 3rd and her 5th inning at bat. 0-1 quickly to Sydney Marshall. Marshall pitched to her once, got her to fly out to right field. Another swing and a miss, and an 0-2 count. Haven't seen a lot of 0-2 counts that have been quickly retired for BG pitchers. They've taken, if they've been able to retire them, they've taken a couple more pitches to do it, including the one by, I believe it was Haley Urban. It was McKenna Mulholland that was probably over a 13-pitch at bat and just popped out to the first baseman. But had an 0-2 count and just fought it all the way back to a full count and then finally popped it out.
Addie out there giving Sydney a little bit of a pep talk, trying to get out of this inning unscathed.
10-4, Ball State leads in the top of the 7th inning. 2 outs, bases loaded. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Sydney Marshall gets through 3 innings scoreless. Great outing for the freshman as Bowling Green heads into the bottom of the 7th with 6 runs of work to do against the Ball State Cardinals to try and take a win out of their 2-game series this weekend against the Cardinals. BGSU softball, you're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi everyone, it's Erica Porter with Bowling Green Women's Basketball, and here's my Falcon 4 favorite activities off the court. I do like to go shopping in my free time. If I'm back home in New Jersey, I do love to go to New York City and go thrifting in like the Soho area. I do like hanging out with, my hometown friends. I could do literally absolutely nothing with them as long as I'm in their presence. I love it. And what would my last one be? Oh, being around my sister because I don't see her a lot.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
In the bottom of the seventh,
Peyton Steffes, Ava McKee, and Delaney Davis lead off for Bowling Green in the bottom of the seventh. They need 6 to tie it and force extras on a rainy softball Saturday. First pitch on the outside black for a strike.
Seems like the rain has died down for the most part. I think it's fair to say we'll get this full one in, which is always good.
Full 2 games in. Looking at the forecast before the game started, didn't look too positive for either. Ground ball to the shortstop. Routine play from Peterzak, and she retires Peyton Steffes.
Yeah, well, it looks like BG will probably fall to 4-4 in MAC play. This one, obviously, the sweep of Kent State, and then now Ball State coming in and sweeping Bowling Green.
You look back to those 2 games against Buffalo. You went 1 and 2 against them, who were one of the bottom teams in the MAC. And you lost essentially those 2 games on 2 errors. Mm-hmm. And you look back to those plays and think, if Cam Kaufman had been in the infield, you didn't have to move the infielders around. They didn't make the errors, and shoulda, woulda, coulda. But those are 2 games you look back on as pretty big ones, considering you could have been 6-0 coming into this game.
I mean, Gardner was pretty emphatic that I feel like our team kind of deserved to win those.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't get the fair hand on games that you deserve to win, but you get the lucky hand on games that you don't deserve to win. So take some there and lose some other times.
1-1, 1 out. BG trails by 6. Ava McKee takes strike 2. There's an off speed. It looked a little bit high. But, called a strike by the umpire.
Akron will move to 3-5 with their win. Against Toledo, that's the team that Bowling Green will have to travel and face coming up on Tuesday.
I've already played them once this year as McKee pops up to the shortstop.
Yeah.
Back-to-back plays made by Peterzak.
God, that one didn't count for MAC play, even though it was against the MAC opponent, because it was in the USC Upstate tournament, I believe up there in Spartanburg. Down there in Spartanburg, I should say.
Yeah. So it'll come down to the last out. They need 6 runs and 1 out. That'll be Delaney Davis that has to get it started. Reached on an error, also got a single. Shows bunt, pulls it back. Wouldn't feel too bad about her bunting for a hit in the situation, considering her propensity to do so and how well she bunts. And how fast she is getting down to first base. Slap hits it, fouls it back into the screen. 1-1.
Davis came back, got a hit in this game after going over in game 1. Just scrappy player. Even when she has a tough game, those players who can consistently stay in the starting lineup will bounce back as soon as they can, and she did that.
1-1 pitch, shows bunt again, pulls it back for ball 2.
I mean, this style of play provides an extra kind of level of versatility for this lineup.
Yeah.
Don't really have anyone else. We see that from Steffes sometimes, but have anyone else who's really exclusively drag bunt, leg it out to first.
She's the only one that's really true small ball player,
yeah.
I'd say. Steph is probably the nearest to, although she's got a decent amount of extra base power. She got a double today, and her only hit, 1 for 4. Davis with a 2-2 count. 2 outs. No runners on in the bottom of the 7th inning. BG trails 6. Severino searching for the win. Ground ball to the shortstop. Peterzak throws it over to first base to Gibson. That'll be the game for Ball State. They win 10-4 in the second match against Bowling Green. They win 14-5 in the first against the Falcons. They drop down to 4-4 in the MAC, and Ball State rises to 6-2 in the MAC. Henry, pretty good showing from Ball State to really take care of a team that was up there toward the top. And Bowling Green just not really able to get anything going with the pitchers, not really getting anything going offensively either.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair to say. Impressive performance. Put up 14 in Game 1, put up 10 in Game 2. They've now put up double digits in 4 of their last 6 games. Pretty impressive for an offense that has really been the leading factor to a team that is one of the leading contenders in the MAC this year. It was Peterzak in the second game, 2 hits, as well as Gunter's 3 hits and 5 RBIs. Fantastic game for her. Haley Urban as well with 2 hits, 2 RBIs there. Later on, it was Timmons. Had kind of a quiet game. Second one only 1 for 4 with that double, and then obviously had the 1 for 2 outing with the 2 RBIs, 2 runs, and 2 walks in the first game. So I think it's considered a pretty good outing for her as well.
Yeah. Ironic enough that Severino essentially outpitched Ella Whitney, who we talked about earlier in the game and how well she pitched. Whitney, 7 innings pitched, 5 earned runs on 5 hits, 5 walks as well. Severino, the 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs on 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 6 hits, giving it up to Bowling Green. And she's a pitcher that across the entire season has not been as good as Whitney, was just able to stifle the Falcons enough to hold them to 4 runs. And the offense, as you mentioned, from Ball State, just very good, top to bottom. A couple of players had very good games. Kara Gunter being one of them, 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs and a run scored. She was a very key player along with Peterzak and Haley Urban in the lineup.
Yeah, and shout out Sydney Marshall. You mentioned the performance from her late in this game. 4 scoreless to finish it off, so great confidence builder for her, and I think will give Gardner a lot more reason to use her in more games here coming up.
Yeah, Olivia Roth also didn't have a horrible outing until that 7th inning where she lost it a little bit, but Ball State really put some good offense together. Henry, do you have actually I'll read up the coming games for Bowling Green. This Ball State series is concluded with this weekend 0-2 for Bowling Green at home. They fall to 6-3 at home over this last 9-game stretch. Akron, doubleheader on Tuesday at 1 p.m. In Akron, Ohio. We will not have a broadcast for that, but that's in Akron, Ohio. They will also go to DeKalb, Illinois next week for 3 games, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday in DeKalb. We will not have broadcast for that either, obviously. They will play Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, that next Wednesday on April 9th at 5 p.m., and then they will come back home for Western Michigan here at Meserve Field on April 11th at 3 p.m., and April 12th at 1 p.m. and 30 minutes after that first game ends. BCSN will have the coverage of that first game on Friday. We will not have a broadcast, I don't believe, but that softball Saturday, we're going to be back with Western Michigan doubleheader. After that, we're going to have another one against Ohio on Tuesday, and we're getting into the depth of MAC play for Bowling Green. Henry, I don't know if they've updated the standings as of yet. I don't know how the rest of the games are going. Do you want to talk us through what's going on in the rest of the MAC right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, Central will go 5-2 after they beat Buffalo today. Their second game was canceled there, so they moved up to 4th. Bowling Green will fall for now to 5th, still hold that spot in the MAC softball tournament. 6 teams get into there, and we'll see what happens here with NIU, Western, Akron, these teams who still yet have to play their games. Akron 2-5, and they'll likely go to 4-5 here if they beat Toledo in Game 2 of their series against them. So that's just who to watch.
Yeah, probably maybe a little bit better weather than there is here in Bowling Green, although we did avoid the rain for our 2 games. 14-5 win for Bowling Green in the first, and a 10-4 win for loss in the first, and a 10-4 loss for Bowling Green in the second. Ball State continues to rise in the MAC, an underrated team, I believe, and certainly one to look out for when it comes down to MAC tournament time, that hopefully we can talk about their matchup in the MAC tournament with Bowling Green. Henry, I know you were sick this weekend, but it was this full week pretty much, and it was a pleasure to call with you again, and pleasure to have somebody on the radio with me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, losing my voice here a little bit towards the end, but I would say it was worth it being back here for Saturday softball.
certainly a very fun game. We'll talk to you in about 2 weeks when Bowling Green plays Western Michigan at home, and April 11th, or April 12th, I should say, a doubleheader on Saturday. Until then, we will say good night, and I zig on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook,